Welcome to Showmance, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
The show's as shallow as Jesse's capacity to communicate with any woman who reads above a 3rd grade level.
Or just any woman that's not his mom.
Maybe so.
Because I think there's some pretty solid 7th graders out there that would...
I said 3rd grade.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm dyslexic.
Jesse, we might have found your dream girl. Oh my God.
Corky like.
Jesse and Corky sitting in a tree.
No.
D-U-M-B-I-N-G.
Dummy?
Dummy. Dummy now.
Thanks for nothing. I'd like to speak to HR, please.
We don't have that yet.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wait, so when I came here today, Nat said something to me.
Oh,
and
Christ.
we're
Welcome to the party, Fifth. Welcome to work.
Thanks for showing up. And I said this last week. It was a snooze fest theme for a snooze fest episode. And Nat was like, no way. I loved this episode.
Yeah.
And when I came here today, Nat said to me, I don't know if I really have famous last words. I don't really know if I have that much to say about this episode because I thought it was so boring. And I want to let everyone know, I literally could watch this episode 10 times back to back.
I didn't think it was boring. I just thought all the good stuff happened last week. And if Bravo could maybe hold its horses and stop showing me 90 different clips that basically make it where by the time the episode airs, you've seen the entire thing.
Though. You got to get off that. Like that's
get off what?
Do you watch these clips?
No.
Me either. And that's why we have a good time watching the TV show because this might be a little hyperbolic, but I was sitting there being like, I'd have to like AI quick watch every single season, but this might be my favorite episode of this show.
Me too.
If not, it's 100% in the top 3. Last week was fine, but last week for me was just the rise of Queen Lexi. May I bow down? But like, so that was super cool. But this was, again, I've said it a bunch of times and I'll say it until we finish doing this Summer House recap. For me, this show is fantasy fulfillment. So I love a friend group that acts as a family and can say whatever in front of everybody and works their shit. Like, I love watching that. I love the idea of a summer house with your friends. Christy, I'm sorry. I'm taking back everything I said about that party. That party was fire. Like,
oh my God.
Dude, it's one of the top 3 episodes. All the deep, like, I think they started watching our shit and they're like, we got a deep dive like Showmance. Everyone's getting super analytical and like personal. Amanda, Gabby. Bro, I'm here for all of it. I'm here for all of it.
Mike, I could not agree more.
Yeah, it was fucking great.
They clearly are listening to us because there was some slow motion camera at work. In this one, and I was saying
I did
never happened.
Showmancy.
With the bubble guns. I was here for all of it.
Yeah. No, the party was
it's the best party they've had all year.
Party the hell year. I'm like trying to think of like there was like one 4th of July party back from like the time of the trio that I remember being really good. I feel like that was like
it was Kyle's 40th
birthday,
birthday, I think, and 4th of July or like. There was some party that they had. I think we're talking about the same one.
Maybe they were like, all spandex or like neons or I honestly, you could throw that out. I really don't know. I just remember there being one really great party 7 seasons ago. And up until now, this is the greatest party times 100.
Lindsay's birthday party, I feel like is great. The one that they had that was Studio 50 Forest, which was when
Foxy Brown or not
Karma Brown.
Karma Brown, yeah.
Like they've had a few that are so good.
Yeah.
But you could tell like the thing that Mike's talking about this show being a fantasy fulfillment kind of thing, I had that FOMO of when I was watching that party. I was like, that's a party I want to be at.
Yeah.
I live for a day party. I love all hours of the day drinking, but I really love day drinking. And it just looked like fun and a bed and cozy and like cute outfits. And everyone was the bubble machines and everyone was like, they had a DJ. I don't remember them having a DJ at all the parties.
Not that wasn't Kyle.
They have DJs, but I am now retrace. I don't know if we can let Mike off the hook this easy. He went so hard.
Dude, listen, I'm sorry.
Last week, I'm like realizing us, like, I'm really, because I don't even like theme parties. So I just remember like saying a lot more about this party than I normally do. And you were like pissed. dumbest, laziest, stupidest, like just pissed.
Phoned it in.
Yeah.
Listen, he admitted though. He's like,
Yeah.
I was wrong. I
was wrong.
That's all
People
I need.
can be wrong. I got some notes on that too later.
Or you could just
Jesse.
not go so
sorry,
hard. Like,
for
because I don't think
Tom.
that you were wrong as in you were in a bad mood.
I'm never in a bad mood.
Yeah, right.
Once in a while.
Once
in
every
a while, I'm in a good mood.
hour on this show.
Yeah. No, listen, totally. I was all those things. And then I was like, I don't even like parties. I don't even like people. Sarah, what up? That's our bond. But I was like, I would go to this party and I think I would have a pretty good time.
Yeah.
And I don't have a good time. Ever.
I also feel like we should just let everyone know this is like the story of Mike and Shane's life, where like they just are. I would never in a million years. That was a pretty good time.
And then we make them do something, and everyone's like,
why don't we
"That
do
was
that?
awesome. Why don't we do that?
Why don't we usually do that?
Why
I
don't we
know.
do that more?
Oh yeah.
Why'd you guys wait so long to let us do those things?
You guys should meet. What? 8 years?
8 years in, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike's the
my
best
God,
ever.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, Shane's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. That's why we said, like, year one, you should meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Neither Shane nor I are on Summer House, and we do Summer House
Well,
recaps
we'll
on
end
this
this one
show.
thing with this, just because I just feel like there's got to be so many women out there that have a dude like this, where like the funniest part about it, which is also the most thing that's like murderous, also is that they don't even remember how hard they went for the 8 years to say no, because the next day when they say that, like, can't believe why don't we always do this, like. No, like I would be mortified had I gone so hard on something for 8 years and was completely dead ass wrong.
Literally.
Like,
if that was me, every time I saw you, and I see you a lot,
Yeah.
for the rest of our lives, I would bring up, I just want to say again, I'm so sorry how wrong I got that.
Yeah.
These
You got to
dumb
bring it up every
dudes.
day.
That's a
You
women
say it
thing,
once
though.
and we move on to party.
Yeah, and this is insignificant, so it doesn't matter. But in the very last scene, Amanda perfectly encapsulates women. Hi, can I get the fresh tomato bruschetta? And then when they bring her the burrata, and she's like, I guess I read the menu wrong.
No, you didn't, Amanda.
Like men would be like, excuse, you think this is bruschetta? Like, hello, stupid. Hey, look at this. Like,
That's
and
a
women
piece
are
of
like,
bread, not
I
a
guess
tomato.
I know how to read. I don't know how.
Yeah, literally a girl. Oh, I'm wrong. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm so sorry. I don't read.
Well, maybe learn how to read, ladies.
I know. Okay.
Shoot.
Shall we jump into Mike and I's favorite episode of the season so
Yeah.
far?
Winning
Now it's mine
episode.
too, because words mean nothing. So
Top-
just for delete that I ever said anything that I said. It's my favorite episode ever. Woo!
Okay, let's not be snarky about it.
I'm not.
We got 3 hours and
No, I
42
slammed
minutes
a beer.
to go.
It takes like 5 minutes for it
No,
to.
no,
like,
I'm kidding.
settle
I love
in.
when you're like this.
Okay.
Drink more.
I will.
By the way, I think I need to switch to I can't switch to something harder because I drive home, but I never get a buzz unless I have like 4 lover boys
You eat breakfast or lunch, I assume.
and dinner before I come. That's
Your problem. I don't
Pussy.
eat literally a bite on show days because I don't do any prep work until show day for the actual show
Yeah.
because I don't have any time.
correct.
And so I'm not starving myself. I just don't
Have the
do
time.
it. And then I always know that beer is going to hit a little bit harder if I
It
just
really
wait one
does.
more hour. If I do start to get
I
hungry
have
around
the little
6.
blood chiggies, so
Yeah,
I
little
can't.
blood chuggies.
Yeah. Okay, top of the pops.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm really falling so in love with Carl just because I think he is a gentleman. And I know that he's got his nerdy stuff and, the veneers that wouldn't be of my choosing. And he definitely gets like a little too in his feelings all the time. Okay, I know this is weird to say, like, I love him and these things. I all those things are still true for me. But I'm watching this scene with him and Sierra, and every chick that's watching this knows Sierra's she knows what he's gonna say, and she's laying the groundwork to be like, no, please don't say it because I don't like you like that. I don't like. Please stop. No, just take the words. They're out. I can't. The toothpaste is out of the tube. We can't unscramble this egg. But he did it in a way that I actually really appreciated the fact that he said it, because he said in his confessional, he's like, I don't have a snowball's chance in hell of ever being with her.
Yeah.
But at least like it's out there now. And who knows? Like anything could happen. Maybe it'll be a slow burner of a thing. It won't be.
Did you feel like when she does talk to the girls about it later, like it did feel like they were all kind of like, oh, that's so nice of you to say that. But
It's the same note. Like everyone thought it was a joke. Like it was cute. It was like,
oh, that's so
cute,
nice,
Carl. Like,
Sarah.
oh, he told you. Oh, that's just so funny.
But she
Like,
acted like
she
he
was
might be considering it for a hot
Wait, while he
second.
was telling her?
When she was telling the girls about it, they were like, oh, that's so nice that you even acted like you entertained it. But I feel like Sarah did take a beat to go, should I be entertaining this? Like,
I didn't get that vibe.
No, I think she genuinely, like all the girls in the house, because he's the only non-dipshit dude in the house currently, that she was just like, oh, this sweet, lovely human being is being so honest and candid with me. And I feel like when she like kind of leaned into him and hugged him, because this has happened to me before, where it's like the last dude I dated was an untouchable fuckboy. I knew it. I knew going in that I am walking the razor's edge liking this dude, but I did it anyway, and that's on me, and I'm not asking anyone to cry for me. But here's this lovely guy who now to me has like the edge of a marble and like telling me that he just has, a crush on me. And I know he would be such like a good and loyal partner, but I feel less than nothing for me. He may as well be a walking breast, but like I should want to be with someone like this. And that's what I thought she was feeling when she like kind of leaned in and gave him that hug. Like, oh, Carl, thank you. Cause you are a good guy. I just feel none of that for you.
That's what I mean. Like she's been through enough shit to know, like, it's like, consider every offer you get, really take a minute. Like, even if you're like, no, give it a couple minutes and just sit with it and just see, because that's the responsible thing to do.
Totally.
And like Sarah does so few responsible boy things that like, I'll take it. Like seeing that moment in her of being like, could it ever happen? Like, I know what that answer is to that question. And so does she, but I appreciate her taking a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get that vibe. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It's if she was smart, it probably should have happened.
Lying because he hates all women.
But I also don't think it was her being like, "Oh, Carl's so sweet." I think what Amanda said later, during the bed, that was like, "You guys talked a lot. You helped him through a lot of his feeling. I think he's confused." I think that was the vibe, like, because I think you're right. She was like, "Oh, I know where this is going." I love that his sales pitch was like, "Oh yeah, I had sex with someone. I didn't do that good."
I loved what he said. It wasn't my top performance.
Then she was like, "Oh, haha, too. That's a bummer. I don't think I'm ever going to date a white dude again." And he was like, "Well, I have something to tell you." I'm like, bro, you are just put it back, save it for another time. Like
as a dude, did you get that she was trying to lay the groundwork to be like, don't say
what you're going to say. Please, God, don't put me in this position kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he did. And it was kind of like, "Oh, Carl, you sweetie. Bless your heart."
Yes.
And then she was as sweet as she could be about it. And then, but yeah, during the vows, and then when she told everybody was just kind of like, "That's so sweet." Like,
I know.
I think that, and then I think Amanda nailed it.
No,
like
she
she
totally
nailed
did.
it so hard about Carl. And I was like, oh God, and again, and then I think, Sierra is reading our comments, me and Nettie, and being like, I should listen to Mike and Nettie, because she's like, I think I need to date a stranger. And Nettie and I have been saying this for weeks. She need to find like a top-notch dude in the city or somewhere off TV who shows her like what her worth is and like says, "What are you doing with these idiot fuckboys?"
Yes, like a smart guy who is like into his job and thinks that she hung the moon and it's just, that's it. His life is like work and Sierra. And also,
so Nettie, our work is not going unnoticed.
I think Amanda fully nailed it when she said like, you're so sweet and loving to him because you do love him, and he's mistaking the fact that like you're so kind and sweet to him and you're really hot. So he's like, oh, we must be in love because DRD, because dudes are dumb.
Yeah.
But I don't think Carl was thinking that. And I don't think Sierra was thinking that. I think Sierra's like, oh shit, this guy's got a crush on me because I am nice to him and I am hot.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway.
She had to come up with like every sentence, because he would say a sentence and then she'd have to respond. She had to basically come up with like 7 variations of the same reply that include thank you, but also no thank you. Because like doesn't want to lead him on. Que sera, sera. Birds of a feather, you know? Like she just like kept,
It was
kept coming up
literally
with like cliche responses to the whole thing.
It was like he wanted to like cook something for her, but she doesn't want him to cook something. So he's like, I was thinking of making pasta. She's like, I think I have celiac. He's like, I think I'm going to make ribs. I just went vegan. Like everything he said.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Yeah. I feel like my like acceptance of this whole thing is because I have gone so hard on him and like lived in regret about it. Like, but I think that there are going to be people that could have seen that as like almost like emotional terrorism, because Carl knows that's not happening. Carl knows he just basically made her come up with 7 different ways to say thanks, but no thanks. And I think a lot of people are going to see it that way of like, why do you think you need to like corner this girl and tell her all these things that like now, after how long have you guys known each other? Like, why now? Why is it always about you? Why is it always about your healing and your like what you want? Like inconsiderate of her. So
Inconsiderate of him.
Of him.
him being inconsiderate of her.
Oh, got it.
And because like that's just there is something about the way that he went. It would be one thing if he said, I know that this is never going to happen in a million years. I want to tell you all these things because I think that like there's going to be moments that like maybe you'll put this in a file cabinet and take it out at some point and and it'll help. I think I should tell you all the wonderful things about you. I think that he really put her on the spot 7 times over to give him a different answer. So again, that would have been my original thing, but I have just at this point now just decided that Carl is the most loveliest guy on the entire network. So I'm grateful for it. And if anyone needs to hear all those compliments to reach for when she is having those down moments, it's Sierra above and beyond like anyone I could possibly think of. I hope that she remembers all those things about just like there was, I like listed all the praises. I won't even get into it, but like so nice. I hope she remembers those things when she's also letting it digest that Jesse's whole bullshit thing that he says to her later. Like, I don't know what Sierra's like in the line of fire for just like a shitstorm all the time. Like she just is in the wrong place in the wrong time. I'm not saying that she's not responsible for it. I've obviously said what I've said about her, but there are so many layers to everything that we saw in this entire episode with Sierra, Jesse, and Carl. Yeah. Like just men just doing whatever they want, whenever they feel like it on a whim. And then Sierra there is just as like, okay, how do I deal with this scenario? How do I deal with this situation?
The only reason I don't think anyone could think that it would be like emotionally, whatever the phrase. Emotional terrorism, as you phrase it. Because one, Carl is such a lovely person and he does respect boundaries that it's not like he's going to keep like in the morning, oh, hey, beautiful. Did you think about what I said last night or on the car ride home? So you want to get drinks this week? Like he's going to say it and leave it on the field and walk away. And that's actually because while he was doing it, I was like, oh God, please don't do this because she doesn't like you. Don't do it. She doesn't like you. She doesn't like you. She doesn't like you. However, when the way it ended and then hearing him in his confessional, I was like, oh my God, I actually respect the move because I think there are so many dudes that are punching above their weight because they were like, fuck it. I love this chick. And I'm not saying he's in love with her, but like there are so many guys that are just like, that is so me out kicking my coverage. But if I don't know, like I'll close this guy right here. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. Yeah. And so let me just say it. And then one day, it might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next month, but 6 months from now, she might be in her kitchen doing her dishes and just be thinking, I'd like to get a drink with Carl. I'd like to go to Soft and get a mocktail with Carl. And then you know, have her like, I love Josh moment. Like that shit
Yeah.
happens.
No. I agree. It could happen with her because, like I said, I think that I saw a moment where I believe that she truly, whether it was because she was trying to be a responsible woman who's had so many shit sandwiches thrown at her, that like this guy who's actually holding something on a platter and being like, "You like? Do you like?"
And if you don't,
Mikey?"
that's okay.
Yeah.
But it'll be here if you get hungies.
Yeah. She might have that moment.
I think that Carl's like not even close to Sierra's type. Obviously, we've seen Sierra's type, but even Sierra's like responsible. Like, I need to stop doing these F boys and whatever. It's not Carl like that. You just don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it
She said
is.
something about him in the beginning, and
but
Paige used to like him. And like, I do remember when Paige and Sierra came one year, and they were like, "Carl looks good this year."
yeah, but come on.
Well, I'm just saying.
But I also like, maybe I don't know, but I don't like. I'm not saying you're wrong that somebody won't be like, oh, that's emotional terrorism. I don't think Carl would do that for two reasons, because Carl's Carl, and then later in the show when Lexi has her little breakfast therapy session and she's like, this house is making me feel crazy, and he's like, yeah, that happens here. Like it'll do that. Like you just like that was so like Carl's. I don't think Carl's intention was to do that, obviously.
No.
If it happens, it was an accident.
Yeah.
That being said, that thing that you said could go two ways though. Like it could totally be like, oh, the sweet rom-com where 6 months later, after another shitty boyfriend, she's making her homemade pasta sauce and like throws some basil in and thinks, oh, I don't know, about Carl's bushy eyelashes. I don't know, I'm being stupid, but like that could happen. The other thing could happen though, where she's constantly wondering like, has Carl stopped? Oh my God, what, do I like Carl? Do I not? I should be with Carl. Which now you've terrorized this person because you
because
put
he's
this
not
thought
going
in
to
her
keep
head that
bringing
she's
it up.
never. I think that's true.
And so that's where I think the terror is off the table.
I don't think she's going to be terrorized by it, for one, and I also don't think that's what he was doing.
Now I need to clarify. Emotional terrorism is not it's a funny phrase, but it's just a guy not taking any consideration into like what the girl will have to deal with, whether it's like good show of love or a bad show of love. It's just like he just decided, I'm going to pull her aside at this party right now and lay something on her that she is so nice and loving and caring, and we've had this great friendship, and she's let me be very vulnerable to her, and I'm going to put her in the position to now answer 7 different times, thanks but no thanks.
But was it really 7? Like he said, I have a crush on you. He said, have you ever had that? He explained his thought like, oh, I've had, and then he just asked, have you ever had that thought?
There were many things where you see her going, oh, thanks. Oh my God. Like there's so many of them that I'm like, she's dying to get extracted from this right now. She would do anything for this to be over, because women we often find ourselves just not wanting to hurt anyone's feelings. And it's like, she gave you 0 signal, my dude. Like, but you went for it anyway. Again, your prerogative. And we wish so many men would take more initiative to just like go for it and not worry about those things. I just think that with Carl, there is a pattern of him being like, I feel like I need to say this, or I feel like it's more about him and his emotions and where he's at in his journey of healing and
his trend healing.
Yeah. So listen, I tried to come in here and not say any of this because I really just am like, I'm not trying to bag on Carl. When somebody, right, all I am saying.
Because women don't want to hurt someone's, women often find themselves in a place where we don't want to hurt
that position where,
which is totally true.
Like so many times, and that's the nicest way. Carl did the nicest thing. It's often something else. Just leave it at that.
Yeah. And it was sweet.
Yeah.
What was also so sweet, as in sweet revenge, it wasn't revenge though, was when Jesse walked over to the girls. And we have this whole conversation that I rewound this conversation and watched it 18 times. I'm going to go home again tonight and I'm going to watch it again, because this needs to be a part of Lexi's new show called DRD and DRD University, Dudes Are Dumb University, where Jesse walks into the Lion's Den, and that's what we're going to call this segment of Lexi's new show, The Lion's Den.
Okay.
Where he walks in and
the Lioness's Den.
Thank you. Ooh, Mike. This is why Mike's in TV. In production. Or I don't know, what is it? Or development. Sorry. Okay. He walks over to the Lionesses and he's like, first he says, I feel like my friends. I feel like my friends took the worst of all the things I said and relate it to Lexi. And it's like, right, but that still doesn't negate the fact that you said them, you moron. That's A of all. B of all, when he goes, this was my favorite part, he goes, but what did I even do wrong? And literally every girl lines up and they're like, but let me tell you why. Because there are so many missteps that you took. Even Lindsay woke up from her pregnancy nap to come over and be like, well, buddy, it's just so wild to me that he can't understand your actions plus more of your actions equal this consequence, Jesse. No?
Of course. There's something about this entire episode that I never realized. Like, I feel like I wasted all the good insults on Jesse like way too early because this guy is truly stupid. Like he's stupid.
Yeah,
like,
he's
dumb, stupid, dumb.
Yeah, he's pretty dumb. I'm wondering, and this, I don't even know if I want to say this, and I probably only have, it could be super inappropriate. I think it probably happened, and I don't even know if it does happen. I'm assuming that it happens. And probably with dudes more than women. Is there such a thing for dudes as like cancer privilege, or let's say sickness privilege, or terminals? You know, like so there's like is because I just get the vibe that this dude is like, what? He cannot comprehend that he's done anything wrong ever. Like not even for this girl that it seems like he likes. It seems like Jesse's super into this girl, that Jesse maybe saw that what we all saw last week and was like, this chick's a fucking winner, dude. But he has no idea. Like he's used to dealing with dumb party girls. No offense to the dumb party girls, because he's kind of a dumb party boy, right? And then he found himself caught up with a straight up woman. Like Lexi's a woman. And Jesse's just like, I don't know what to do. But he's also, he just will not admit that he's done anything wrong. He doesn't even understand that he's done anything wrong. So it's like a kid whose parents are like, oh no, we don't discipline. What? What do you mean you don't? He's acting like an absolute monster. Yeah, that's okay. Well, that kid grows up to do whatever the hell they want. And there's no consequences. And they learn that there's no consequences. So then when they meet someone or a group of friends that are like, no, we did have consequences when I grew up. They're like, cannot compute. I think that's, and again, leave the cancer privilege thing. I don't know. I couldn't think of what else it would be for him.
You're not saying anything bad. Let me just, because it's really just is reminding me of a comment that we got that I'll just read it now. Because
that's so funny because I saw that.
Like it's not, it's in the realm of, it's not exactly what you're saying, but.
Which we've talked about. We have said, like, we've likened it to when someone comes out.
Yeah, like a 10-year, like he could have had with both the school and like an awkward or
like an
adolescence
geeky kid.
In combination with surviving.
Yeah. So I think that they're two different things though, because like, I think that's why Jesse love bombs and is like so giddy over girls and is like, oh, girls. I think is because he thought at one point I may never have a girl or a long term or life. I may die. Like, so I think his like little boy always has a boner, thinks with the wrong head type of like that is the 5 or 6 years of digression or whatever that he lost. You know, he lost a chunk of his elder childhood, and so now he's underdeveloped, right? I think that's a byproduct of what Trisha was saying, and then you can read that comment. But then this week I was like, you cannot accept responsibility for anything. See,
that's where I'm at,
and it's not a like Jax type, not like again, I know, sorry, different show, but it's not a Jax type deflection. It's a true like, huh? Like Jax knows he's fucking doing dumb shit, right? And he's just like, well, I didn't do it, but you did. No, not me. I'm just Jax. I can do whatever I want. Jesse's truly confused at what everyone's talking about.
He literally said, and let's just preface this with, they've been in a relationship for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks. And he goes, oh my God, that West.
The old 5-week breakup.
Yeah,
the old
those are
breakup
rough,
after
buddy.
5 weeks.
But Jesse goes, I mean, you keep bringing stuff up that happened weeks ago. And it's like, right, that's the entirety of your relationship, bro.
Yeah.
It's weeks. You literally barely hit a month of being together. So to sit here and say, stop bringing things up from 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean 2 weeks after you met? We don't have a lot of runway
Yeah.
as to where you've been.
We've got what we've got. And
Right.
like, that's all I've got to reference.
It's just so crazy to me
I know.
that
He's
if you
insane.
literally look at everything that he said, when he goes, I feel like my friends are taking, I can't say this shit with a straight face because it's so banana cakes to me. I literally feel like my friends are taking the worst of what I've said and that's what they're relaying to her. Right. Where's the accountability though for saying it to everyone besides Lexi?
Yeah.
You're talking about my 5-week relationship, but you're bringing up things that happened a few weeks ago. Stop doing that. Again, a 5-week relationship.
Yeah.
Then he goes, I just don't understand what I did wrong. Like, none of it. And yes, okay. And then he'll follow that up with, granted, I shouldn't have had someone suck my toe. It's like, right. So you're naming things that you've done wrong. This is crazy, Jesse.
It takes him to like, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, also, the first time I've ever heard Jesse admit that like the toe sucking was wrong.
I have a theory on this though.
Yeah.
I think the only reason that he now is acquiescing to the fact that he messed up via Toegate is because there's so much stuff stacked against him that he has done wrong.
Yeah.
He has said all this stuff to the girls, venting to them.
Yeah.
He has made Lexi, at least to me as a viewer, I was looking at her like, oh, that does seem a little crazy. Like, don't flirt with other, like, not the don't flirt with other girls stuff, but like, oh, you followed girls on Instagram. You didn't follow girls on Instagram. It did seem like he was being watched the way that he was reporting
Yeah.
all of this to the girls.
Yeah.
And I think you know how like, if you're having a disagreement with someone, like one way to kind of like take the temperature down is to say, okay, I'll take responsibility for that one thing, but then you got to take responsibility for the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what Jesse's doing.
Yeah.
He's boiling down all of his wrongdoings to, I admitted that the toe sucking thing was wrong, but he won't admit to anything else because he thinks that then like absolves him of blame for anything else because I said this was wrong.
That's what he's been doing with everything.
Like maybe. I also don't believe. Jesse said 2 things in this episode that I was like, bro, that wasn't even a little bit genuine. One was, which I now know was inappropriate. Like, okay, I don't think you do. You're just saying that to say it, right? And then his apology at the apartment, which I don't mean to jump ahead, but that apology was so 7-year-old kid who's
we
like,
will get to that
dude,
apartment conversation. Did you want to read that comment, Nat?
Yeah. So Sandy with Cat says, I'm not even halfway through this episode, but I wanted to add a comment about Jesse. I also listened to your Bish therapist, and Melissa herself is a multiple-time cancer survivor, including cervical or ovarian, from age 17. She said on one of her episodes last year while recapping Summer House that a lot of younger cancer survivors go through a hoe phase after being cancer-free for 5+ years or so. Not that it's a get-out-of-jail-free card, but maybe should be considered. Also, I wonder if he has a form of arrested development at his first diagnosis age or PTSD. I think I would. Anyway, he should not tell the women he wants a relationship when he really doesn't. That's not cool. So basically just she's not... Sandy with Cats is not saying we should give him an out, but like we always try to consider like where did this like what's the background, where did this come from, why?
Well, I was trying to figure out why.
Yeah,
that doesn't that I've said this forever. The old back in school we used to get the who, what, where, when, why, and how, and those words are slowly getting chopped off. The end of that how doesn't matter, who or where, like it's just like who and what, who did what now. Why? It doesn't matter who
No,
and
yeah, no
what
one
did they
cares
do.
why.
And that people want
Let's
to know
yell
where.
at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We don't care.
But I do think that this is all of Jesse's actions are the micro of the macro of Jesse's issues, right? So Jesse really does or did like Lexi. He really had feelings for her, but he still might have arrested development or like some kind of like stunted emotional growth from literally fighting for his life for
Yeah.
those years he had cancer.
And we're going to go with that because I can't, like, I don't believe that he is a bad person. So, like, I'm not giving him an out, but I'm going to go with that theory because, like, there is nothing else that would excuse the ridiculousness of this 30-something-year-old dude. Or maybe, I don't even know how old he is. Is he in his
30-something.
30s?
He is, but like early, 31, 32.
Yeah. I mean, not that he should be, you know, have a ton of wisdom, but like, you know how to conduct yourself by this point. You know that like he's actually admitting to the toe sucking because that is actually, which I agree with, 10,000 times better than admitting that you intentionally went around to each person in the house to tell them a different story about something that would make you. I don't even think he was trying to make her look bad. He was just so consumed by making himself look how he wanted to look, and also get the whatever that response would be from them. Like whatever he was trying to garner, it was so selfish and not taking anything into consideration but what he wanted in that moment, and doesn't even, like, he's probably thinking, but my intentions were good. It truly does not matter at a certain point, and this guy needs to learn the lessons that intentions mean nothing if you're constantly just,
If your actions are
just
diametrically
so
opposed to your
sloppy,
intentions.
shit
Yeah,
show,
totally.
ridiculous. Yeah.
He wants this, but he's doing this. Like everything with Jesse is like those, like, you know, not almost stupid t-shirts. What is it? Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Almost stupid.
Is that it with
And
the
it
2 arrows?
points to the-
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I love those.
Yeah. Those always crack
When
me
people
up.
were standing in the wrong place, you know?
The arrows are pointing that way.
Yeah, or like next to the dog. The dog's like, what did I do?
He really did like Lexi and really wanted to have a relationship with this girl. But then I think his knee-jerk, I'm a goofy puppy 21-year-old in a 31-year-old body
Yeah.
is so nervous to do it because he knows he's not ready. It's like he got put into a game that he's not prepared for. And he knows, like to Mike's point last week, like he's playing with Michael Jordan and this guy's on a little league team. And so he's now talking to all the girls being like, wait a minute. So like, I'm not allowed to flirt with anyone anymore? That seems weird. Like she's got her thumb on me. Like everywhere I go, I feel like she's tracking me because that's weird, right? He wants one of them to look at him and say, yeah, that is really weird. Don't worry, you can still be yourself and have this girlfriend, because he wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to be with Lexi and not change and grow up at all, not change anything about his single self behavior. And that's not a
But again, I
relationship.
think all
He wants
these things
both.
are true. But like, I don't even think that he's realizing he's not that what he's doing. Like
No,
he's not.
no, of
He's
course.
not like, ooh, I can get this and I can get my cake and I can eat my cake and I can tell the girl. Like, I think he's just doing what he thinks is like normal. He's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I think you know, like Jesse's just kind of a dum-dum. Like he's sweet, whatever, not like, he's just kind of dumb. He's just
Oh yeah,
a dumb
I
dude.
agree with you. I don't think this is some mastermind, like
Not even a
Machiavellian plan that
little.
he has.
Yeah, he's accidentally doing these things.
I think he is just being a dum-dum and is tripping all over himself and doesn't even realize that I'm doing it. Because think about this, Mike. He has multiple groups of people in this episode. When he says, I don't even know what I did wrong, literally every girl is like interrupting the other girl to say, this is what you did wrong. And oh, don't forget about this. And if you did that, if I was your boyfriend, I would have chopped your remaining nut off. Like, and then when they were,
Paige says, I would have chopped your remaining nut off. Like that she called herself. That was funny as hell. Listen, everyone in the house is doing that. And even his homie is like trying to be supportive, but also throw in the like, it's been 5 weeks. What's the foundation? Dude, there's no foundation. Like even West is like if Jesse, like I'm so anxious, and I talked to somebody about this, or we were chatting on the thing. they made a comment like, "Oh, this reunion is going to be so interesting. It's going to be interesting to see Lexi." And this was before the last couple of weeks when the girls were finally like, "Oh, I think that I think we need to go take care of the little because this guy's being an ass." So like, but we were like, dude, what's going to happen when Lexi sees all these girls just like sticking up for Jesse? What's going to happen when Lexi sees Sierra's interactions with Jesse? What's going to happen? Like, there's just so many, like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with Lex and Jesse when they kind of see the interviews? Like, it could be a really good reunion. I think you had a point to that, but I can't remember it. So who cares?
I don't want to let him skate. Like, and I also don't want to deep dive this dumbass. Like I'm
kind of what we do.
Just gonna say you might need to look for another job.
But like, when they're telling him like what he did, and he says about Sierra that he told her this thing just to make her feel better. So like, you get the concept of considering someone's feelings so much so to say something to make them feel better. What did you lose that concept in a split second span when Sierra's standing right there and then you tell her that you did that? Like, if you're saying something to make someone feel good, maybe also don't say something.
Don't tell them that you said that to make them feel good.
Yeah. Like, it's not hard. Or maybe just don't say anything at all. You didn't need to pull that out of nowhere and go, if I would have gotten here first. Like as if Sierra is waiting for you, Jesse Solomon, to rescue her from the depths of
wonderful life.
Yeah, exactly. And like, so sometimes like maybe just, you don't have to say anything because what you've said has now caused so much, like now you've made it even worse. Because had you not said nothing, she wouldn't have felt good, bad, or any way, or she would have lived her life moving on. But now she has to deal with, not only did you lie about that, but you took pity on her to lie. Like, that's like a double, it's like getting rejected by the guy you never even liked.
Yeah,
all
totally.
over again. It's either just complete stupidity or being so obsessed with like, if I say this, though, it might help me get out of this other thing. I've got a 1% shot, but it like it was no more than a 1% shot that was going to help you. So it's not going to help. But you were willing to risk all of Sierra's feelings for that 1% that it might help you get out of the plight that you're in this very split second moment, that like you got 18 more things that they're going to dish at you that you're going to have to answer it for. Like, there's no character, there's no dignity, there's no respect. This guy is maybe the worst guy on this show. Like, stupid and doesn't care, and me.
But also, like, when he was,
I don't agree with the doesn't care part.
What has he shown us?
Oh no, I think he cares so much. I think he's.
What has he shown us that he cares about anyone but himself?
I think when he is. It's a tough question to answer because I get what you're saying, and I want to say something else to what you were saying. So give me a second. I feel like he doesn't seem like a callous, completely out for myself kind of dude. He seems like he's in that stage.
Worse.
Oh, what's worse?
Not even knowing that you're that guy, and people are starting to give you some hints, and you're just like,
but see, not knowing. Listen, it's both. It's shitty, right? Like, his behavior has been piss poor. But I think there is a difference between being like, we keep calling him like this puppy. The puppy doesn't mean to pee on your rug. The puppy doesn't mean to chew your shoes. It's still bad, and they need to know that like this isn't right and you don't do this, and like you got to train them. It's like Jesse needs to be trained to be a better dude, because that's why West to me is worse than Jesse, in the sense of West intentionally screwed with Sierra. Like, he was never, I feel like, forthright with her about stuff. I feel like Jesse saw Lexi, really did like her, and he's just an idiot that needs to learn this is not good behavior.
Yeah, I don't know how long Jesse has been friends with this group, but my thing about the and again, I just feel so shitty using the term. I've never heard this term, but like the idea of having a cancer privilege is like, no one's going to bust your balls. No, everyone's going to be super nice to you. Like you can kind of lose your temper and be mad about shit because like, fuck, you might die. Like, and no one's like, it's fine. Like everything's fine. His family, his mom, like everybody's just like, you kind of whatever, right? If you're a band kid and don't have a lot of friends, your family's probably going to feel bad and like so just like, there's a chance, right, that Jesse has never encountered a Caesar Milan, to keep with the dog reference.
Yeah.
Because he's been around people who are like, oh, that dog do whatever he wants, chew the couch, bite you, jump on you, what? Nobody trained the dog, so the dog is a psychopath, right? The dog's dumb. He doesn't know any better. Like, is that a bad dog? No, like, not. It's a bad dog owner. So there's a chance that like this group of friends is the first Caesar Milan. Lexi's the first Caesar Milan type where they're like,
to be like, no.
Yeah,
we
you
don't
had
do
cancer.
That
That sucks. You only got your ball chopped off, but you're fine now. And like, we're not. Like, no, dude, let us.
I'm not coming to your chemo treatments to yell at you. I'm, thank
but
God.
also, you don't have the treatments anymore. Like, great, congratulations. Now back to life, right?
Yeah.
Like, we'll soften up when that time comes, or we won't, because I'm Paige Sorbo. That's a man. Like, we're not soft. We're family. We're going to tell you if you're shitting on one of our family, we're going to tell you about it. And you're going to deal with it, or you're going to go the way of the rest of them. It's like, where the fuck is Luke?
Yeah. You were saying something else that I wanted to touch on about.
I just want us all to be Caesar Milans for Jesse right now
Yeah.
and say, do not do any of this for another second.
No.
I'm done with you. Prove me wrong. If you don't tell him the jig is up, then like he's not going, like what you were saying right now. Like, I hope nobody lets him off of this reunion. I understand that everyone is going to have like how you don't want to say like, no, it's your cancer privilege. Like, I don't want to be like, get over it. You don't have it anymore. I understand it can come back. Right now, this is your life, and that is in the rear view. As of now, let's act as if it is like going to stay there. And because
I'm with you. I'm hoping that at the reunion, Jesse's like,
same.
Fuck. He's seen the whole thing. He's lived it. And then I don't know if these guys watched the show, but like if he went back and watched, and like I know I'm gonna just flower Lexi for the next few weeks, but like, dude, you lost a winner, man. Like you got to sit and think about that. And Lexi, don't go back. I don't think they have. I don't think she will. Yeah. But like, Jesse, think about that shit. Like you that up, and that's gotta be a catalyst for some sort of change.
Yes,
but everyone saw it. Everyone knows what you did.
This is where I hope that we have maybe a glimmer of hope with Jesse, because he is that like sensitive, like nerdy kid in this grown-up's body where he does still feel like he was, I feel like, the picked on band kid, like that stereotype or whatever. But something I wanted to, so hopefully he will feel badly, realize, oh, that's a crappy way to behave. Let me change that behavior. What I wanted to say, or what I wanted to touch on when you were saying about when he brought up the stuff with Sierra, and he's like, oh, I was saying that as a joke to like make her feel better or whatever. Okay, wasn't funny. And usually with a joke, at least one person should be laughing, right? Like
he didn't even come up with that it was a joke. Is this Lindsay goes, just a joke? And he goes, yeah. Like he didn't even have it in him to like come up with anything. He said completely. I just think it was again, we were talking about on the Valley this last week. One of the characters had the world's thinnest argument for something, Jesse, with them smoking out the mole in the group. I think this is the same thing. It's like, you know, it wasn't a joke. You know, you were being serious as cancer. You know that you said what you said and you meant it, bro. So just own up to it. But he can't do it. And I really believe when he's got all of these women in front of him and he still has the balls to say,
I don't understand what I did wrong. And it's like, that's the problem. Because there are so many things that you've done wrong. And you can only now, in this moment, because there was a physical action, say, oh, okay, clearly it wasn't right that someone sucked on my toe. Like that's it? Because you got a lot of infractions here on this.
The next day, he has the audacity to ask the same group of women again. Does anyone know why Sierra's so mad at me?
Well, basically, we go from this conversation to some the girls, I think, are like chatting on the bed after this, and they're talking about how great this party is.
Yeah.
Which now, thank God, we're all on the same page about this. And then someone goes, of course, this is the most Carl thing. Carl wanted to do a baggy clothes party because he's really
into baggy pants now.
Anyway, we're not hating on Carl at all because he is the gem, the Mr. Rogers
really
of Bravo.
is.
But like, I just had to highlight that. And then after that, I did want to just really quickly talk about how I was so sad to see Lexi shed a tear over this guy because I'm thinking to myself, girl, you will be over this in no time at all. He is not worth your tears.
I don't think Lexi was crying because I don't cry. I'm a dude. But like Natalie and I talk about this all the time. I have a little temper. I get mad. But like 90% of the time when I get upset, I'm upset at myself. And I say then, she's like, I'm not buying it because you're real mean to me. And this is true. And I'm so sorry. But it's all like, I'm always so mad that I didn't do something, or I should have done that, or I should have said that, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said this, or like, whatever. Like it's almost always me being mad at myself. And that's people. I don't know that people like, I always say like, I don't really care what people think about me. And people are like, well, it's not true. Everyone thinks about what they care about me. I don't. Sometimes I do. I care about what I think about myself though. Like that's my jam, and that might be egotistical, but like I care about what I think about myself. I care about what Natalie thinks about me, my friends, and that's pretty much it. But mostly I don't want to be an asshole. So I think that, wait, what was I saying?
I think you're going to say that she had a realization of like, probably.
Sorry. Yeah. So I think what she was crying about was not that, oh man, I'm losing Jesse, or that I think she was mad at herself that she got snowed by this dummy, and I'm not a dummy. And how did this happen? Like, I think that's what she was upset
But you know
about.
It's so funny. We didn't even talk about this, and I just sort of knew where you were going with this.
That's love.
I do think you're right about that, but I also would like to tell Lexi, because obviously she's watching.
Totally. Hi, Lexi.
Hey, girl, we love you. That it's okay. It all like you live and you learn. We all, will have, be a little in the dick sand where you're just like, oh, he's so cute and he's so funny, and Jesse is cute and he is funny, and you're in this new experience, and you just kind of were having fun, and you fell for a guy and he turned out to be an idiot, but you've handled it better than well.
Yeah.
So like A++, chef's kiss, 12 out of 10, no notes. So don't think that you got because you didn't.
Yeah. I think that what she might have been thinking about is like how you've mentioned a bunch of times, like Lexi made a choice when she got here to spend all of her time with this guy, no judgment, and instead of building the relationship with the girls. And so I think that, like, I thought that she did such a great job, because Jesse's entire, like, I feel like half of his beef, just as it was last episode, half of his beef tonight was just like, what did one of the girls say? Oh, you drinking a lot of beers or something, Jesse? And
You
he's
seem to
like,
be drinking. I'm drinking as much as I should at a party where I expected to have a good time.
yeah.
You're
Like he is still like stuck
yeah.
on like,
oh, he's so
this party was supposed to
doesn't get it.
provide a certain level of good times for me.
Well, and
I am an American. I deserve to have the most fun at this party. And
now I'm getting the 12th degree everywhere I
it's
go.
not happening. People are cock blocking the fun.
I had one toe sucked.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the big one. Get over it.
That was the last fun Jesse had.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think that she, I was thinking, like, I'm so glad that she seemed to have like a great time at the party. She was bopping around all night doing shots with Schwartzy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
just
she
like
I wanted to see them have a smooch.
I know, so did I. And then I'm so glad that she didn't though, because the viewers would have been like,
Yes.
like I was thinking about so many things. I'm like, God, Lexi made so many right moves that like I wouldn't have even made, but she seems to be smart enough to know so many things that I never even thought about when at that age. Like she just continues to impress with that.
Yeah.
But so I think that she had a banging time at the party. And then when it was all time to come in and they got the order, they got like their Uber Eats or whatever. And they're like, then she realizes like, even though everyone has like gone out of their way to basically come and tell me that he sucks and I'm the best and like we get it now and here's all the advice and all the things, he still is more established in the friend group. So of course he like, even though they all think he's a moron, he's still sitting right next to Kyle and eating all the food and
Having
then
his
shoving the
chicken
burger in his
tendies.
giant mouth and chomping with his big old teeth. And like, and she's not going to just like barrel in there and be like, here I am. Like she'd done a great job of that all night, putting him out of sight, out of mind and continuing on. But that was more of an intimate, like the share house people and she just wasn't going to do it. So I was bummed for her that she went and had that cry and called her sister probably and whatever. But once it got to the next morning, I was like, I'm so glad Lexi had her downtime, got it all out, got a good night's sleep.
Fresh
Now I'm
faced.
up and at him and ready to fucking crush
Fucking
this
do
dude.
this in front of everybody.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you're talking to everybody. Let's do this in front of everybody. You want to do it in front of everybody? No.
So good.
No, you did it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish
Except
it
me.
in front
You
of
did it behind
everybody.
my back.
Except me, yeah.
And now I'm going to show you how Canadians fight, which is very polite. But before we do that, I just need to talk about two things. One, when all the guys went outside to watch Zootopia on the computer. I'm sorry, that was so adorable. And I wanted to scream at them and be like, right, this is why the girls always love to hang in bed. It's so
my God,
fun
I know.
and cute.
When West
and
was like laying on Jesse's chest.
No, other way around. Jesse
Oh, it
was
was
laying on
Jesse.
West and he had his thing.
Probably because Jesse was the
Dude.
hurt, like little
it was.
bum
It
bum
was
that needed a
100%.
little.
And Wes is like, just sit here, my
Oh
buddy.
my
I got
God.
you. And Tom up top and like, dude, it was.
Mike was so jealous.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I don't like
was
Schwartz being on the
so
outskirts of
jealous.
anything, though. I want Schwartz right.
No,
That's-
Schwartz was at the top. He was the base.
I
He was the top. Like
He
it
was
was
the
fine.
king of
And
the-
Kyle was laying on his legs, all propped up. Like it was stupid, cute, perfect. Like okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna do a real dumb photo with you guys. Let you get all
What
giggly.
did Schwartz call it? A cuddle
Cuddle
puddle. Dude,
It was brotastic.
amazing.
It
So
was
good. I
so
loved it.
good.
It's those moments of like when West and Jesse have their moments and that, then I'm like, my guys.
Yes,
And then
yeah.
I'm like, God damn you. You fooled me again.
And West, I will say his outfit with the
Dude,
sleep
and the
pad.
candle.
It was
yeah.
hilarious. That was hilarious.
Bro.
When Sierra says to Jesse, like she had the best response ever to him saying, I was just trying to make her feel better. And she goes, you are a friggin' weirdo for that statement, which is like the most like simplistic thing that you could say. But I'm like, no, there's nothing like that was a weird ass thing to do for a weird ass reason. God knows why you do the weird ass shit that you do, Jesse. But that statement became second to Paige's. You don't need to tell me to, you need to feel bad for me for this guy over here holding the candle. And
Oh
it
my
pans
God.
to
I
him.
pissed myself. She's like, we don't need to tell you to feel bad about yourself about some dude holding a candle. And then they go over to Jesse and he's like, not Jesse, West. And he's
Yes.
balancing the candle by himself. Just
like
I mean,
dancing kind of
yeah.
solo. He looked like Robin Williams.
he looked like Ghost of Christmas Past. Like, what's that?
Yeah. Well,
A
I
Christmas
just-
Carol? or-
Right, Christmas Carol. I thought he just looked like Mr. Sandman in his like community playhouse.
No,
Like,
did you do the
just-
one part where the one girl came up to him and she's like, I need to tell you something. And he's like, yeah, what? It was a security cam clip. And she's like, 'twas the night before Christmas. And all through the house, not a creature was stirring. Not even a mouse.
West.
Dude, it was so
What did
funny.
he say his outfit was?
I
Like,
don't know. It just
He was
was
just like an
nothing.
old-timey
But even the
sleepy
girls
guy.
were like, I know we
It's-
hate West right now, but the candle and eat Sierra, all of them were like,
He
"Mm,
nailed
they
it.
nailed
So,
I
yeah.
know.
it."
Speaking of West, the absolute perfect metaphor for how West's summer is going is him sleeping outside and at 4:30 in the morning,
rad.
the sky opens
Yeah.
up and just starts
Dude,
pissing
what
all
the
over
hell?
him. I thought that was the most poetic moment of the show.
That was great. At that, I was like, I kind of was like, stay out there. At that point,
that
you're
point, who gives a
soaked.
shit?
Like, just
He's probably
stay
just
out there.
cold.
I would have stayed.
That's all I was thinking was
Yeah.
if there was any way that he thought, oh, like, because it would be if there was a canopy, it would probably be like, oh, this is great, just like sleeping in the rain out here.
Yes.
No, he was like drenched in like a bed that had been partied on all night and like
his soaked comforters. And shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably pretty gross. But like,
yeah.
I don't know. And there's a part of me that wished it was just nice and warm enough to
Yeah.
just shed and go. But can I gotta say something about McDonald's. I know you're not a McDonald's person, but
Well, I'm not a fast food person. It's not just McDonald's, just in case anyone's
you're a
wondering.
total loser.
They are so glad that you offered up that information.
Yeah.
Right now.
They're
like,
so surprised.
oh, thank God it's
Yeah.
all of them.
No, because
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I was just gonna say, what if someone's like, "Oh, she's a Burger King person"? Like, if someone's
Oh, okay. Yeah,
oh.
that's worse. You know, you got it.
right,
That's
like when
worse.
someone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're a Pepsi person." Like, who prefers Pepsi over Coke? I would prefer a Coors though over nothing.
Oh, I can help you with
Thank you.
that. First
Nat
of
wants
all,
one
when
too.
Paige is like tells Amanda, "Oh, I used your husband's phone," so they ordered
No
like
credit card.
$380 worth of McDonald's on Kyle's card, and then he's
Yeah.
outside and he's like, "Oh shit, they used my card." Dude, that was so funny.
I know. How many
Also-
times has that happened?
Yeah.
Like, oh, good.
The also, if this is a thing already and I just missed it, let us know in the comments. If it's not a thing, we got to make this a thing. Has anyone ever heard team nuggies? Like when you group order, but somebody's like, "Oh, I got like a thing for the group, like chicken wings or nuggets or French fries for everybody." It's team fries. It's team nuggets.
Never heard of it.
Carl said that. Carl did. When the food came, he grabbed a nugget and somebody said something and he was like, "Oh, I thought they were team nuggets." And they're like, yeah, no, they
I
are.
thought he said 10 nuggets because she
Team.
goes, "There's a few missing," and he's like, "There are 10 nuggets."
I think he said team nuggets.
Well, either way, this is the most important part of the show.
It's not important, but it's something that needs to get out there, though.
Okay.
I
Well, it's
thought.
out.
I made a note of
Team
it.
nuggets?
Team nuggets. It's like for the group.
All
Like
right.
they're shared. Everyone can have them. They're for the team.
Okay.
I think that's hilarious. And then also, if it's not obvious, Gabby, just to go back to the scene where Lexi called her sister, and I have two things. Gabby's my 1B. Like if Lexi hadn't taken the torch last week, Gabby would.
Oh,
They're so close.
I love Gabby.
I love Gabby now. I'm so into Gabby. And then before we get on to the next scene, I'll just make this quick. Maybe I like pregnant Lindsay. All right. And then we get to breakfast the next morning, and
We're gonna
she
wrong.
fucking got me, dude.
No,
she
she's
fucking
we'll talk
got
about it when we get to
me.
her OBGYN appointment, but like, no, she's
we
fully.
can start now with breakfast when she's like, "Do we want to make breakfast, Jesse? How do you think? Do you think that? What did she say?
You
I wrote
make some great
Should we make
eggs."
breakfast, Jesse? Okay, you make some great eggs. Like, and I'm so glad she. Well, we'll get to.
But even how she's showing up in
she
these
got
arguments
me.
and not arguing and just saying, "You went," and this happened in the breakfast scene because this, sorry, Nat, triggers me. This gets in my craw like nobody's business when it's so obvious what someone has done wrong, and they'll enter a scene being like, "Anybody know why Sierra's mad at me?" And it's like, the mailman knows why Sierra's mad at you. Everyone in America knows why Sierra's mad at you. How are you that daft that you've missed it? You tried to, what you said, first of all, if it's true, that's rude and embarrassing. And it's not true. So then it's just taking her for a fool and using her to cover up your bad behavior. Own the fact that you were a shitty, non-boyfriend, boyfriend committed dude. And you were flirting with Lexi all weekend. And now you're throwing Sierra under the bus to look like a better dude. That's the straight shot, Jesse. That's why she's mad at you. But Lexi, Lindsay very calmly explains, you said things about Lexi to everyone in the house and you didn't say it to Lexi. So she's feeling like you made a fool of her, essentially. And I'm like, Lindsay, did you go to therapy or just get pregnant or both? Because either way, it's all working for you.
Okay. It's so much worse than
Please.
he asked the question with already having the answer on deck. He already knew the answer because he says, for one offhanded joke, which begs the question, is our friendship so weak that it could be like he wanted to then blame it even more so on her. You would let this run our
You, Jesse.
Jesse, off. Just off for a little bit. Off you go. Like just everyone took a weekend off. Where's Jesse's weekend off? I would love for Jesse to take a weekend. I need a breather from Jesse to like remember what everyone else is doing because he's been sucking the air, the oxygen out of this entire outdoor extravaganza.
You and Lexi. Lexi said the same thing. Like, you're just sucking the life out of me.
If they spent a split second wondering if he had learned a single thing from the weekend that he's just had, don't spend a split second more because the answer is absolutely not. And he's got strategy on what he thinks. We'll put him back in the driver's seat. We'll put him back in the, like as if anybody in this house right now is going to go, I never thought of that.
He was just joshing you.
Leave the jokes to the guy with the weird face and weird mustache. Like that's your joke guy. I always tell you, leave the jokes to the comics.
I'm funny though.
You and Jesse are super funny.
Whatever. I'm West funny.
Listen. I hate West. West is pretty funny.
West is very funny.
Yeah.
That means I'm funny.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
dude math.
Yeah.
But no, you're completely correct. But he can't let it go, which is why you just want to put your head through a wall. And so when Lexi walks down into the kitchen looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I love that she doesn't give him a hug. She's not being like she couldn't have played her cards better if she tried.
Yeah.
And so she just isn't being loud about it. She's not being bitchy about it.
I think she's kind of funny too. Like I think she's funny, and I don't know if we've seen her funny side. But when they were like, "Oh, Lexi, did you eat last night?" And she's like, "No, I just cried."
Yeah.
Dude, I was dying. No, I was crying.
Yeah.
So funny.
Do we know who she was talking to? It was just her sister,
sister.
I
Her
assume?
sister, yeah.
But
even her sister was like she said something, blah, blah, and then they captioned her sister going, "This guy's shit."
Yeah.
Like, so even her sister's like, "Bro, what do you do? No, wrap this up."
Did you love when Gabby goes, "What are we doing?" And she goes, "It's a therapy session." And Gabby goes, "Tap me in."
I didn't hear that, but that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Dude, she's so funny.
She's so
I
good.
loved the sesh. I also loved, and then but like Tom, because that kind of happened before the breakfast, but Tom going into the girls' room and being like, "You guys cherish this,
I have the same note.
this," and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna love each other forever," and he's like, "Yeah, that's what we all said, and now we hate each other. Our lives are in disarray." It was so sad, but oh yeah, Tom, spread the word. Like,
I also said, spread the good word. I also thought it was soups adorbs that Tom walks in and he's like, "Hey guys, I just wanted to come and say goodbye." And they're like, "Oh, are you leaving right now?" And he's like, "No, probably in like an hour or two." And literally cut to the end of the episode and he's waving everyone
He's
off
still
from the
there,
house
yeah,
and he's
totally.
sitting on the porch
that's funny. I
alone.
didn't think about that.
When he said that, he goes, "I'll probably come say it again though in a little bit."
Yeah, like he
I'll
just
say it
loves
again.
them.
I'll say bye before I leave.
I'm telling. There's a slew of people in our comments that are none too pleased about the Schwartz love, but like I can't quit this guy.
I know.
Sorry, he just is like a bucket of hearts, you know.
And like, listen, I
As
made
opposed to
some
Jesse,
comments.
who's a bucket of farts.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go on.
Like I made some like, "Oh yeah, no, I tend to forget," and all these dudes on VPR were so horrible, and some of us forget and some of us don't. But we also like, I don't want to sit here and defend Tom Schwartz, but like,
You had mentioned it before. Like, are people just not allowed to change? Are people not allowed to go through a
Growth.
phase and then like, I don't remember the last yeah, he didn't fucking tell us about Ariana or not Ariana. He didn't tell us about Sandoval and Rachel or whatever her name is. Fine. I think that is a gray area. That's your best friend. What are you going to do? You're going to blow up his whole life by because you've decided that you're going to tell it's not your story. Yeah. And I understand that he's friends with Ariana. So but at the end, I'm sorry, he's loyal to his best friend and no one should even look at that sideways. That is what it is.
Correct.
The things that happened before that, I'm not saying that they didn't happen. They were a long time ago.
And we haven't seen that behavior from him in years. So hopefully.
So long. And if Katie is still friends with him and it just had him on her podcast and then she went on his, I feel like this was in the same week. They had lovely reminiscent discussions and one of them doesn't have video. It's just audio. So they're both I don't know what it is, but the sound is so good. And all throughout the comments, they're like, why is this the most soothing thing? Why is Tom and Katie's conversation the most soothing thing I've heard in a decade? These two have a past. They clearly still have a great affection for each other. Katie is not will not shy away from picking on him, but that's their relation.
That time does heal so much and they kind of grew up together. And I do very much not just allow, but I encourage the growth and learn. Okay, we've all done stuff that we wish we didn't do. You grow from it, you learn from it. And I really, because we haven't seen any behavior, not even a hint,
nothing
of anything reminiscent to his early stuff, like when he put the drink on her, poured the drink on her and all that stuff in years. It's why I think I'm softer towards him and just yeah.
Yeah, and I did preface in the comments, or not preface, but mention it's been since Scandival that I've turned the corner on him. All these dudes have done horrible things. Who of them have changed? Who of them have made an effort to become better, to not be a dick, to not be mean, to not get into scuffles with women or break up fights or pour beers on your wife? Or yes, he did a bunch of shitty things. And they should not be forgiven, or they should not be condoned. I guess whether you forgive people is up to you. But Jax is still a piece of shit. James Kennedy, seemingly still a piece of shit. Sandoval, I don't know. He's such a piece of shit that he's trying to get over it. But dude, you got a ton of work to do. Schwartzy just seems like he's man, I did some dumb shit. I fucked up this bar. I fucked up this thing with my friend in this situation. I messed up a lot of things. Let's try to fix it. He just
I would go back to my marriage in a heartbeat if she would let me. Yeah. I would do everything she ever wanted to do.
Sweet house we own.
Yes.
He seems to be the only one genuinely trying or concerned about becoming a different person, which is a better person,
and actually doing it. I said, his actions have been lovely.
So that's all. I think that's all we're kind of piling on. Again, just to end, none of us are getting rid of anyone's past, but you got to be allowed to change and forgive and forget or whatever. Just not forgive or forget, just move on. Move on and be okay, you did a thing, but now you're not doing that thing, so we can be friends again.
Saying every saint has a past, every sinner has a future.
Yeah.
Not to be corny, but it's every person that you're looking at that is so wonderful and perfect, they might have done some unsavory things in their past, and every person who's acting a fool has the opportunity to turn it all around if they want to. And I feel like Schwartz is taking the opportunity to be okay, this is the man I want to be, or at least I hope.
Yeah.
TBD, I guess.
And every number one guy in the group today can lose it all tomorrow, and then we're done with him. But the one thing that I learned, the one when the cancel culture kind of started to turn. I don't even know who it was the first to say it, but it was so we're just canceling people and then they're dead forever after that? What are they supposed to do? Do they just go, oh, well, that's it for me. I'm canceled for life. And guess I'll just go die now. Is there anything that anyone can do to serve the masses, to satisfy the masses, to say I guess that you don't need to go cut yourself 17 times today. It's at a certain point, you just have to be let the guy do better and let him do it for several years and be glad for it and don't be irritated. People seem more irritated at people that did wrong before
and are trying to get better
or are not even trying, are actually doing and have shown that they like have like a track record now.
Those are my favorite stories.
More irritating to them that it's he just got to do good now. Like,
yeah, and then we all benefit.
Yeah, and he's so cute. Come on.
He is so cute, Mike.
I swear to God, I'm not.
He looked amazing this episode.
He's so
listen,
cute.
Schwartz is. I don't know if Schwartz is going to age well. But when the Schwartz in his early Schwartz, bro, you're gonna. I don't care how straight you are. You're gonna have a hard time not looking at early Schwartz and being like, or sorry, whatever.
I think he is aging well.
Yeah,
he's like
I think
43,
he's
44.
so
Yeah, I'm not saying
he's
not.
Great.
I'm just saying go look at a picture
so
from
sweet.
No, you said I don't know
ago.
if he's gonna age well, and I'm telling you, I've seen the future. I think it's a cute Schwartz.
Rock and roll.
Lexi said something. I can't remember if she said it with her sister, but it leads into kind of like what we're gonna get into, where she goes, "Jesse's two-faced," and I'm like, "Oh, girl, you nailed. He is. He's a little two-faced.
He's completely two-faced.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even think twice about it and doesn't care. And if you ask him about it,
he's very offended.
He's super offended and can't even believe how dare you. I am just having a hard time finding a redeeming quality. I know that it's in there, but he's got to show
and
it.
I feel like Jesse might be a person who's actually never been to therapy, which I feel like a lot of this might be a generalization, but like a lot of people, at least in Southern California and New York, New Jersey, where I grew up, like you talk to someone, they've been to at least one like therapy session, which is weird that he's in this area that I feel that he hasn't, because everything he says is therapy 101.
Yeah.
When he walks in and he's just like, well, you made me feel like this. And the therapist in the first 5 minutes of you being in the session is like, no, you have to say, I felt this way.
Yeah.
And he said, something along the lines of, my actions weren't X, like I didn't feel my actions were X, Y, and Z or something like that. And it's like, you're not listening to her. She's saying, this is how you made me feel. So stop defending it and figure out why what you did made her feel this way and remedy it. If you actually want to be in a relationship with this chick, cue therapist Gabby, which she could totally have a career as a therapist. Cause I thought she was so incredible at that breakfast bar, the island, just talking to, in the group. Nobody was getting loud. Everyone was having a great conversation. And she said something, I can't remember what it was. I don't know if you guys remember, but Jesse did this, no offense, Mike, but this is such a typical straight dude thing. And it shoots me through the roof. As soon as you say something that they disagree with, yeah, got it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't do that.
Literally does it on the show. And Gabby's like, no, don't shut down. Talk to us. And he's like, I don't want to be in this argument. And she's like, we're not arguing. We're having a conversation. And then Lexi's like, right, this is the problem. He thinks everything is an argument. And so now you've got two clear thinking chicks being like, Jesse, you're being insane. We're not having an argument.
Yeah.
But just because I said something that you disagree with, that's okay. Just say back to me what you're feeling. This is how communication works. And then Captain Carl comes over and he's like, everyone just needs to calm down.
No, that was
It's been a long
Kyle.
weekend. I'm like, Kyle, this is literally the calmest argument. It's not even an argument that we've ever seen in this house.
Kyle goes, it's Sunday.
We've had a long
Sabbath
weekend.
Is reserved for little pool time and
No,
and
Kyle?
going through Emerald's threesomes of the weekend and rehashing that. That's what the Sabbath
Somebody
is
get
for.
Imrul on FaceTime. Let's break up the tension in this room.
See, all of that was funny until he literally goes, come on, pipe down. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The king toddler of every dinner table debacle
In
annual,
public?
in public and in the sanctity of a private home. Like, you're going to tell them to pipe down? Listen, this guy wants to be, you know who says pipe down? Dads. Kyle? You're not a dad.
Whatever.
I have to say, I never would normally. Okay, of course, it's reality TV, so I want all the conversations to happen out in the open, right, front and center. I want them to basically be almost just talking to camera, like almost angled. Like I want to hear all that. I normally would not condone group like if you got an issue with someone, excuse yourself, take it to the side and resolve it, and come back to the party once it's over. But Lexi knows that, like, no, that's how we got into this mess. Your private conversation privilege has been revoked. You have abused them. So there's that. It needs to be happen in front of everyone so that she knows that, like, everyone's going to see what's going on right now, and she's not gonna have to worry about him going to tell some other version to someone else later. And then when the other girls start talking, when Gabby and Lexi start stepping in, my first reflex was, out of all the women in here that you guys need to speak for, it ain't Lexi. She's been fine. She has no problem with articulating her arguments perfectly and taking everyone down to Chinatown. Not a problem. And then I'm like, Lexi's letting this happen though, because she knows that she's already told this guy 10 ways till Sunday, like what the problem is. He's not listening. I guess he needs to hear it from other people being his friends who have supported him this entire time. Like, there is no question here whether these are my friends. Nope, they're your friends. So everything about it was just like Lexi had when I say premeditated, I mean in the best way. Like, I had clearly already, like, thought out, like, how should this go? I need other people to see it because that's been the whole issue. I need other people to step in because he's not hearing me. Mm-hmm. And then when it did wrap up, like, if she had more, like, when Kyle, like, kind of kiboshed it, I was pissed at first, but I really felt like she said every single thing that she needed to say, unless there was more instances where, like, when she tells West, like, and West, he said this about you. If there were more of those, I would have liked to see it. But if it was just going to be basically, like, reiterating what you'd already said and bashing him more because you can, and we'd all love to see it, at this point, I think she also is, like, smart enough to know that, like, that's when you become the asshole, and everything that all your good points that you've made will become irrelevant, or they'll become overshadowed at the very least. And then when we talked about how I wish she would have taken Schwartzy aside and just laid a smooch on him. I wish that too. The audience wouldn't love that. Lexi did everything to garner the most perfect response from the audience. Like,
it was a flawless routine.
It was a flawless
10s across the board. I just wanted to talk about something you just touched on really quickly.
Yeah.
Because two things. One, it's so sweet when, like, her cute little Canadian accent comes out sometimes and she's like, hosts or out. And then she will say something like, well, that being exclusive, you can shove that right out the window. Meanwhile, any of the city girls would have been like, shove it up your you. Like, literally, these girls would have gone in on him in the most just biting, nasty way, because you're a little different when you're from the Northeast. And I can say that because when my family comes to visit, Shane will be like, I've never seen you speak that way to anyone before. And I'm like, you want a piece of this? Back up, brother. All right. I'm not having it from you, dude. Anyway, point being is I loved when she brought up the West thing, because even West, when everyone says you're dead, lay down, Jesse.
Yeah.
Even his best bro in the house, when Lexi said, and then he was mad that you were flirting with me, Wes was like, "Rrr?"
Yeah.
What? And in his confessional, he said, I don't remember that. I remember maybe someone's arm around another person,
maybe
but
a huggy thing.
Yeah, but our relationship isn't like that. And it just goes, though, to prove that Lexi is relaying everything that happened correctly. It's it's Jesse who's all up in his feelies. Yeah. And it's Jesse who's sitting there talking out of both sides of his mouth, saying to her, I don't like when you did that. He literally said to her, you know how I am. And I didn't like to see you flirting with my friend. And now he's trying to twist it so that she looks nuts in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Like, this is the only time I'm with Jesse, when he's like, I never said I was mad about you flirting with West. What he said was, you flirting with West was no different than me laying on Sierra or dancing with her at that party or rubbing her feet. Maybe
he didn't say that.
What?
He said, you flirting with West was so much worse than me getting my toe sucked.
Whatever. Like, but it wasn't the thing is, he wasn't jealous. He didn't get mad at her because he was jealous of her flirting with West. He was upset, whatever, because he was just like that. You're mad at me for doing the toe suck, and in his opinion, whether it's right or wrong, he thought that her dancing with Wes or whatever they were doing was the same. 6 and 1/2 dozen the other, apples and apples. So like again, when she was like, he was mad that I was flirting with you. He wasn't mad that you were flirting with him. Again, 100% team Lexi all day long.
See, the only reason I
But
disagree,
that's not why he was mad.
because I
I
thought
don't think he was mad. I think he was just saying like, this is to me.
that's
is
not
the
what I'm
same thing.
saying.
Yeah.
Is yes, and I thought about that in that episode, and the reason I didn't go with that option is because every other example of Jesse is him talking out of both sides of his mouth.
Yeah.
So I think when he was drunk, and I said it in some episode, like in Vino Veritas, like that's how you really feel when you're drunk. That's when the truth comes out. And I think when he was talking to her behind that car, and he didn't think that they were catching it for whatever reason, even though you have a mic pack on. But he was drunk, so there's that. He was upset about it. And then he tried to spin it into something different when he was sober, just like he really did mean what he said to Sierra. And then he tried to spin it into, it was just a joke.
Yeah.
And I think that that's Jesse's thing. He's the captain of the spin team. And I think that was just another example of it.
And when Amanda says he is super jealous and he doesn't want anyone to know, like I don't think that she was just taking like I don't think that if that's the thing that she heard, I feel like she probably heard 7 other things that were similar to that, because that's just like a big reach to, like I would have never thought of Jesse as a jealous guy.
Same.
For Amanda to say it the way that she did, it just sounded like there was more to it than like maybe what they told us. But I don't know. That's just my own assumption. I loved it when Lindsay goes, "Just say I understand," because all that Lindsay ever wants to hear from a guy is "I understand." Lexi's like, "No, don't say
you were wrong
that because you don't understand." And then Gabby goes, "Yeah, I don't think he does."
Yeah.
And Lexi goes, "Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to be with him."
Yeah.
When we get to Jesse and West chatting about all of it in their room, I wanted to put my head through a wall, because now this is to me, this is the perfect example of dude math.
Yeah.
Because neither one of them want to take responsibility for their respective situations. And Jesse's like, "Now I get how you feel." And West literally said, "I would tell you to go and do X, Y, and Z, but it's just easier to apologize and bow your head." And I'm thinking to myself, interesting choice of words. Not, oh, it's the right thing to do to apologize. It's me being the best version of myself. This person deserves an apology because I wronged them. No, just shut her up. Give her an apology, because that's the easiest way out of this. You're always looking for the easy way out. Instead of doing the dishes, just throw the dishes away. Instead of taking out trash, let it pile up. Like, no. Instead of moving the box in the house, you just step over it. No. How about it's the right thing to do to move the box in the house? And so when he said just apologize and bow your head, I'm thinking to myself, well, that is so funny. Besides the easy part, you've never just fully apologized. So if that was the easy thing to do, then just do it.
Yeah.
Eventually I won't care.
I have to say, like, and I don't even know how, like, I won't even back it up with like why, because I don't know why. I'm not even digging into it, but I like Wes so much more than I like Jesse. I just do it. And it could just be that like the time has passed and he is so much funnier than Jesse, and Jesse's just, everything he says to me is annoying because it's all just, it's such a, it's always working an angle or trying to get something, or trying to get a response or whatever. It's never just like
it's working an angle. You're so right.
And West is just like, he's a court jester, like at least he's providing a service or something. Like I haven't felt like Jesse has in a bit, but if Jesse would just take his lashings, shut up about it, apologize, not like keep his head down, like lived a dong another day. You know, like
I
it's
think what Jesse has going for him, and time will tell, is that I think he actually like will do better. I think there
yeah,
will be, if I'm making a prediction, I think there will be growth. I think he'll see his actions, and in time,
yeah.
he will be, because he is a nice Jewish boy.
I know.
Like, I think that he's gonna look at Carl. Honestly, Carl was king of the F boys. His behavior was worse than both Wes and Jesse put together. Okay? Carl's behavior was so bad. And granted, he was struggling with addiction, and obviously that was the reason for it. I'm just saying it was not, it was a very unsavory behavior. And Carl now is just like really thoughtful and, you know,
I pose this question though, if you think about it. So Carl pretty much was what he was up until he got with Lindsay, right? Like there wasn't like a
no, he started it when he got sober. And
who
he
was
wasn't
he
with Lindsay when
who was he seeing right before that though?
he had a summer where he was sober and single. And that's the summer that Sierra and Wes was like, Sierra and Paige both said like, Carl looks pretty good, right?
And he didn't hook up with anyone?
Yeah, no, there was that girl that he was like kind of involved with that lived in Los Angeles, and she came out for like a weekend, but there was kind of like a failure to launch, and they weren't really hooking up, and then they did, and then like he just like, I realized I don't want to focus on that because I'm getting sober, and then him and Lindsay got together.
I would not be shocked if he did like because I just don't know. I don't know what kind of role his sobriety is going to play into like how he conducts himself in relationships. The only person that I, can remember him with, because I feel like he had hooked up with Danielle a little bit, like right before Lindsay again.
I think he was not. I don't know if
Maybe
that
not
was a sober.
So the only person the only relationship we've seen him in since then is Lindsay, and she's just like that's just a different beast. Like they've got such a long history and whatever. All I'm saying is that like I don't know if we really know how Carl is in his what level of fuckboy he is. Like if he is hooking up with girls, if he is like. I wouldn't be shocked to see Carl like hook up with someone and then us see him be like. Kind of renege on it. You know how he's always kind of always backpedaled every time he hooks up with somebody, kind of backpedals like kind of out of nowhere in a way. Like, and I understand he's been wasted the whole, I understand that, but
Yeah,
we don't know yet.
I think this girl that he dated her for like just a few months. So it's not obviously him and Lindsay, they almost got married, right?
Yeah.
So we might not see him in that serious of a relationship in his next go. But I do think we know who he's going to be because he's shown us with this chick before Lindsay. He was super thoughtful, really communicative with her from what we saw, right? That's all we can go off of. And then with that Lily chick, even though she was so off base for him, he wasn't
Just
he wasn't a shithead to her.
It's not about being a shithead. It's just like being into someone. He's talking about it. He's bringing her out. And then suddenly like one day, nah. And then like he's supposedly hooked up. Oh, which leads me to something else.
Oh, yeah.
That whoever he just went and had sex with, like
Yeah.
I'm sure that could have just been a thing. Like they both knew this is a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Or there could be a girl being like, I slept with this guy Carl last night. You said he's a nice one, right? I haven't heard from him.
My money's on he'd be a good guy.
Okay.
Yeah, not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
No,
I'm
not.
betting.
I don't. It's not my thing. I'm just saying like that. Like if I'm looking at everything we've seen, yes, I understand that like the alcohol is not a factor anymore, so that could change everything. But like I don't know yet, so I'm not like deciding one way or the other. In the scenes from the next, when Lindsay says, she's like, so you said that Carl hooked up with someone. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
It's
not a shot in hell. Like
Lindsay, that you got to let it go. Stay in the OBGYN's office, giggling with that cute laugh, pregnant. That's where we like you.
But we're not getting into a big thing about Carl, whatever, but just why is she implying that like she doesn't believe that he's ever hooked up with there's no way. Why would she say that?
Here's where I think Lindsay is mining this story from, okay? Remember the summer right before they got married, she was like, we barely have sex. Barely, maybe once a month. So I'm wondering if Lindsay's experience with Carl was that they didn't have a good sex life. It wasn't active. And I think that maybe she's thinking there's no way all of a sudden he became this sexual guy and just had some one night stand with some chick. Like he doesn't want to have sex. He's asexual. That's my experience of being in a relationship because even though she said we're having sex very minimally, I remember Paige made this comment and I was actually thinking it. Not everybody. I feel like a lot of people might fib about their sex life and say, oh yeah, no, we have sex like 3 times a week. And really it's like once a week, once every 10 days, which is great. I'm not having a judgment on any of it. But if someone's telling you, no, it's not that good, but it's like, it's like once a month. No, it isn't. It's like once every other month when you're dwindling down to those numbers. So I think that's where Lindsay's coming from.
So then do you think that Lindsay thinks like when you say that she says he's asexual, like do you think that she's speaking on his sexuality? Like that's what I'm wondering.
I think she's saying, I was with a dude who never wanted to have sex. So to think now that he went out and had a one night stand that's laughable.
But you also just said before Lindsay, Carl was banging all the chicks in town.
When he was drinking.
Right.
Which I do think is a different version of himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's where she was coming from.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of Lindsay, when she got emotional in her confessional, when she's talking about like just hearing her daughter's heartbeat and like it just made her feel so close to her and just like we're hanging out and all that stuff, I was like, West is right. You got to be pregnant all the time because whoever this person is, I love you. I want to be friends with you. It's why I believe Paige when she says like, I am friends with Lindsay now because this version of this person, I want to be friends with.
I'm going to track down the nurse and that OBGYN that came to get her just off the way she said, hi, Lindsay. Like it was so comforting and welcoming. And I don't know why I clocked that, but she opened that door and they cut to her and her smile and the way she said, hi, Lindsay. I was like, like just, yes, that's who's supposed to greet you every day of everyone's life. If we could just record that and everyone wakes up to that every day, but their name is put in. That good on you, lady. You did a good job. And you had one line and you nailed it. Scene stealer.
Nailed it.
Yeah, she was. I don't know why I said that thing. I'm glad. I'm glad that Lindsay, and this is so weird, but life is weird. So Lindsay and her mom, they don't really have a relationship. I am so glad that Lindsay's having a daughter.
I know.
I think that Lindsay being a mom is something that she's wanted for a long time. And I think that achieving that has and will continue to maybe change Lindsay. But having a daughter and being able to build a relationship with a daughter that her and her mom never got to have, I think it's
going to heal
it's going to be
F out of her.
Magic. And I'm a little envious of that daughter. Listen, this kid could pop out and 2 months later, Lindsay could go back to Psycho Lindsay.
No, I think she's going to be a great mom.
Yeah, I think that kid is so lucky.
Yeah.
Which is
crazy to say.
Fucking cuckoo
bananas
crazy.
to say.
Also, hot take. Just throwing it out there. When she brings Schwartzy that coffee.
Yeah.
Schwartzy and Lindsay sitting in a tree, stepdadding babies.
No, because he's too
That would be a perfect thing. I would love that to happen, but
he's too beta.
But
she gets along
Lindsay,
with
Mom
betas.
Lindsay?
Yes, but I don't think she should date a beta. She's like a Madison.
Well, yeah, she shouldn't, but it just.
But she does, but she shouldn't.
Sir Jammy Jam.
It just was a weird when he was like, what? And she was like, I know. Like, it was just
This is so sweet.
Like a little thing where I was like, huh.
Wait,
I was thinking about shipping them. That's what the kids say.
He's been dying to use that.
I have, and I finally got to.
Well, speaking of shipping them, we got to unship these two. We now are at Lexi and Jesse.
Yeah, no, they have been unshipped.
In Lexi's apartment, which I had this thought. You know how her mom and sister now live with her? How do you bring a guy home? You're not.
Well, her mom doesn't. Her sister does. The mom just stays once in a while.
Oh, okay.
The sister moved in.
Lexi's the adult in the
Yes.
house, I think, you know, so I don't think anyone's giving her any shit for that.
What did you guys think about that scene of her and him in her apartment?
She wasn't any less convinced that he had done what he did. She was just cooler because like she wasn't in the moment. It didn't just
So
happen that
cool.
day. So she
Well,
was
I think
just
at
like,
breakfast too, she finally checked out. Like she had done her processing.
Yeah.
And at breakfast, she was like, that's a wrap. I'm
done.
done. We're done. And when she got up, even though she was like, this house makes me feel crazy, that was it. The ride home, that she was, when he came over, it was her, it was just her, it was him trying to be like, oh, I'm going to try to save this or that, and I didn't, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised
was
there
written
wasn't
all over
fucking
his face.
funny music at that when he said that. Like, it was so lame. It was the lamest apology. But I think that was just her letting him come over and give it one last shot,
Dude,
even though she was
totally.
like, yeah, no, this is a
Yeah.
wrap. You can say your piece, but like, we're done. And
Yeah.
like, that's my, I said it earlier, but like, this dude just got caught up with a woman, like an actual grown ass woman.
Yeah.
And he's a deer in headlights. He has no idea what to do. And that's fine. Like, fine. And she realizes that, and now he realizes it. And so like that's the only thing I got was his apology was so lame and childish, but we've all said that Jesse is childish and maybe stunted. So that kind of tracks. And that Jesse found himself a woman.
I did love when Jesse, I'm saying that in a sarcastic way, when he goes, I would just hate to see this end because of my actions.
Yeah, well,
and I'm
that's
like,
why things end.
That's
Right.
exactly it. Like, you just defined why things end.
Right.
That's literally the end of every or most relationships, except you're just somehow, some way, again, not picking up on the most obvious. The arrows are pointing. We need to get Lexi an almost stupid t-shirt.
No, we need Jesse one that points up.
Yeah.
It just I'm
Exactly.
a stupid. I even in the him and West conversation, I didn't note that like this dude won't even take a L for love. Like it's fine. Like, oh, you're not gonna acknowledge, but again, he seems to really like her. Not surprised. But
I really like her.
yeah, we all do. But like at that point, at what point are you like, oh, just do it? Like kind of West was like, and then I'm gonna argue what you guys are saying. I don't disagree, but like he was also like, dude, just shut up. If I can apologize and shut up, you know? So the fact that he can't even acknowledge anything in the hopes that might work and get Lexi, like just to save Lexi, save that. But he doesn't, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't fucking get it. And that's fine. Some people don't get it.
Also, the key to an apology is for it to be a real apology.
It was a silly, goofy baby talk apology. It wasn't real.
He just says to
His apology to Sierra in the scenes from the next at the beach was more legitimate.
Oh my God. I had the same thought where I could actually, this is why, Nat, I think I have this seedling of hope that there could be growth with Jesse, because when he's talking to Sierra, and let's be real, they have a deeper relationship than him and Lexi, because Lexi and him have known each other. It's like they were on a cruise together or had like a summer job. Literally, they actually did have a summer job together. And I get that it feels really intense those 5 weeks, but Sierra's known him for 2 years now, right? And they are close or were close. And so when he sat down and apologized to her, you could see the remorse on his face. He did really seem and sound sorry. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know how to do this. You just got to flick the little light switch, let the elevator go all the way to the top, switch the light switch on. And now we're cooking with, what is it? Gas? Oil?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time comparing those two. Like, you're not going to get by with some piss poor apology to Lexi. You could probably get by with one with Sierra because, like, she just like Lexi just doesn't have need for like don't fill this empty space, leave it empty. Like, whereas a lot of other girls, including myself, have been like, well, he's apologizing, he's being so nice, and like we do have such a good time together, and he seems really sorry. And then like I did kind of humiliate him, and I did do that one thing. I did kind of flirt with Wes. I mean, I was wasted. I don't know. Like we'll come up with all those things. Lexi doesn't really do any of that. So like I don't know.
Well,
I just like comparing the two, like how he's dealing with one and dealing with the other. Like, I just think it would be easier to get back into Sierra's good graces because I saw her on Watch What Happens Live afterwards. They're clearly already friends again. They are at Coachella doing whatever. she.
No, but
That's
I'm not
true.
even saying, like, take the person he's apologizing to out of it. I think maybe my point was more so I saw genuine remorse and sorry, like, I am sorry, I am really apologizing when he was, and we'll see when we see the full scene. It was just the coming attractions. It seemed like he knows how to give a legitimate, heartfelt apology. That's what it looked like he was giving to Sierra. And he has, and Mike and I think you also agree that his apology to Lexi in her apartment was nonsense. It was gobbledygook.
Yeah.
He had a
And
silly grin on his face.
right.
It was a kid apology.
And so I just think he has it from seeing that what he did with Sierra, it seems like, okay, you know how to do it. Regardless of who you're apologizing to, you can do this, Jesse. You can be a better dude.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, you're probably right. I think I'm just like in everything that you're saying and everything that we're talking about, I'm just realizing like, I don't care. Jesse can go off
That's
for all
because you're
I
so
care.
mad at him.
Like, but I'm not even mad at him. I'm like tired of having any emotion about him. I'm just like, you've been obnoxious for so long now.
It's
And
the 7 stages of fuckboy.
I'm more interested in Kyle than I am in Jesse. Like,
She's gonna turn on Kyle.
I already kind of like, listen, I just don't like, so at the end when him and Amanda go to dinner,
Yeah.
first of all, I've had that exact same conversation
I didn't know we were going to do this.
at a restaurant out of nowhere. He said all those things to me. Now, I wasn't like trying to have kids, but then when someone tells you out of nowhere that like you're not having them, I walked home from that restaurant that night. I was blown away that was like just decided
For you.
Yeah, and it wasn't like I kind of feel like it was like, yeah, no, guess I'm like, so you just don't want me to guess not. Like it was very much like and so I just like
So
saw
should we get
Kyle's face
Crudo?
wow, yeah.
Like just said it and
Okay,
then
exactly.
time out.
You wanna
Time
split
out.
the
Time out. Time out.
T-bone, the 2
Because
parts?
this is serious. This is a real thing about our life. And I honestly watched that scene and was like, dude, we're gonna probably have to talk about this. And this is a real thing that happened to us. And it was my fault. And it is truly it would be the biggest regret of my entire life. And we've talked about that too.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have. You've asked me many times, you regret that. And I've said every time, 100%, you have. We've done this. But that I watched that scene and I was I have a note, my note for that, and I know you don't like us to read our phones.
Well, I
That
don't like
last
us to look
scene
like
with
a
Amanda
job.
telling Kyle that she doesn't want kids hits a little too close to home for me. Because we did have that. We have a restaurant that we used to go to all the time. It was our restaurant. And I had, man, everyone's going to hate me now. That's fine.
No, I love you. Keep going. Never stop.
I had gone through a couple of years where I just was a tough couple of years for me. And we've all gone through a tough couple of years. I grew up, and I'm not trying to pity party anybody. I do regret this decision because we got into our relationship fully with the full understanding that kids were on the table. We both wanted kids. We both wanted to be together, have kids, and live happily ever after. And then so 2 things happened. I grew up thinking, I hope this isn't too touchy for anybody, but I grew up as a guy who didn't, like if there was a suicide in the thing, I was the guy that was like, deal with, like, I was a little inconsiderate to people who suicided themselves. And I know we can't say that, but like, I've just always kind of been the like, pull your boots up, figure it out. You know, that was the kind of guy I was. And then I also felt the same kind of way about dads who left their kids. And then one day suicide made sense. And dads leaving their kids made sense. And we don't need to go into how and why those things made sense, but they clicked. And from that moment on, I think about shit all the time. I get a thing, I process it for a long time, probably too long. I wish I didn't think so much. But that whole feeling of like understanding why families break apart and why men leave their kids, and it becoming crystal clear to me, scared the shit out of me. I'm obsessed with work. I'm obsessed with doing something in this stupid business. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I didn't want to lose her. Like, I didn't want to, like, not have a life with you.
I did not mean to make you.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
so sorry.
So I decided to trade kids for her. I never told her that. We never had the conversation. I never even expressed these feelings to her. And probably months later, maybe more, after I had made this decision for us, we were at dinner and she brought up kids and I said, oh, I think that ship sailed. And she was like, whatever, you, I'm not that old. And then I said to her, why? Like, no, this is how I feel and I don't want, and her jaw was on the floor and she straight up got up and left the restaurant, as she should have, because this was a total bomb dropped on her. And yeah, it was a shitty thing and I will regret it forever. But we have 2 little furries. But yeah, so that scene was tough to watch.
Oh.
Thanks for making fun of me.
We did not know that. I did not know that.
I didn't know any of this.
Well, I didn't get that bad, whatever.
I would remember. I forget a lot of things. I don't know how that I picked this outfit. I did not.
You even said, I forgot I had this shirt.
I forgot I had this shirt.
Well, now you guys can do your thing. I'll be drinking my bubbly, sweating while everyone talks shit on me.
No, we would never.
Oh, God.
Well, like and subscribe. Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When you say you chose her, what do you mean? Like,
I got scared that I would leave. I got scared that I would be the dad that left. Like, I saw too many similarities and I was like, oh, you're going to be that guy. You're going to leave. Again,
you would never.
Listen,
in my
I've talked
heart,
to
I
a
feel
couple
that, yeah.
people and they were like, dude, you'd be the fucking best.
Yeah,
You're the guy. Maybe I wasn't willing to risk it, I guess. So like, yeah, again, it all made sense. It's like, offing yourself is the ultimate solution to every problem ever. And everybody, well, what about everybody else? Sorry, everybody else. I don't know my problem anymore. So just, again, it made sense.
Yeah.
Right after that, this whole, and that, like, I don't know what I was even thinking about, but like, she can attest. I'll get on a thing and just literally sit outside for weeks, months, researching, reading, thinking, taking shit way too far. It was in this time that these 2 things right back to back popped into my head and clicked and made so much sense, so much more sense than they've ever made before, that I felt horrible that I ever said or thought anything about anyone who got to that place where they ended their lives, thought or felt or said anything about a dad who left his kids, which is like, oh my God, worst thing ever. And I'm not saying it's not, it totally is. But it made sense. It made sense to me.
And understanding.
And it made sense because I was like, oh, you'll do that. Your patience is just like whatever. It made sense to me. And that moment I was like, I don't want nothing in life more than I want her. I want to end my story with her. We talked about it in the last episode. So I was like, I don't want to, again, I just didn't want to risk losing her. And for kids,
and
bratty kids.
When you say you regret it, do you regret saying it to her the way you said it, or you regret not having kids?
I regret all of it. I regret not talking to her when it first came up, not having the conversation with her. That's my partner. Like we're everything. We're each other's everything. I regret dropping it on her after I had, I wasn't even still processed. I had been processed, done,
Signed,
shit,
sealed, delivered.
I was on to something else, probably like, oh, what mountain bike should I buy now? Now that I'm not having kids. So it wasn't
give me that braces money.
Yeah, totally.
Put it towards a 10K bike.
I regretted how I said it to her. I regretted the decision. I regret it now. And listen, we can adopt. We've often talked about it. I regret being hyper work focused. I regret the whole thing. There's nothing about it that I'm like, oh, well, that part was okay. The whole situation sucks. And I took a thing away from me selfishly. Like I always wanted kids. When I was little, I was the kid. I thought it. Everyone else thought, oh, he's the first one to get married. He's gonna have 100 kids. He's gonna be married forever. I always wanted to be a grandpa and be like, look over and be like, yeah, bang, look what we did. Like that was always what I wanted.
Mark, I did not know any of this about you.
And then
That's why it was such a shock
Yes,
when over lasagna and squash blossoms.
all the best squash blossoms too. Yeah, it was so sad that restaurant closed.
I know.
Maybe it had to after
Yeah.
your dream died in
it was
it.
literally no. I'm gonna tell. Like we would go there. Once a week, 2 or 3 times a month at least. Like
Was it
this.
that place on Robertson?
Yeah.
Il Forno.
yes,
What was it? Il
I can't even remember what it was called now. We didn't even need to
Something
know
with
if
an
it
F.
was-
Il Forno.
No.
No, it's something with an
Anyways,
F. With the
it
gray
was
awning.
So good.
It was
yeah.
so good. I
So
love that
delicious.
place.
So
Yeah.
cute. So small.
Great little pizzas.
Yeah. Anywho. So yeah, this whole thing went down. She bounces. I'm sitting there. The dude, he's like, everything okay? I'm like, yeah, no, definitely not.
Fill up this 7-Up.
Check, please. Yeah, actually, let's fill this 7-Up with some whiskey.
Mike doesn't really drink barely.
Yeah.
No, all
It's
he
always
does,
so
he's always
funny
like,
when we go to
hit me
dinner.
with another 7-Up.
Yeah.
Like,
Sprite or 7-Up.
and
But
it's
he'll-
not because he doesn't like, oh, he shouldn't drink. He just doesn't.
Yeah. I've said it before. I've never liked that alcohol buzz. I don't like the buzz of alcohol. There's plenty of other buzzes I enjoy. Just alcohol I've never enjoyed.
I just love though. He's like Sprite, and I'm like,
Yeah.
do you also have a kids menu?
Dude, I'll fuck
Butter
up a kid's
noodles?
menu. Butter
Chicken
noodles and
fingies?
chicken
Chicken
nuggets.
fingies.
Dude, bring it.
Should we
Mac
cut them
and
for
cheese.
him?
Hell yeah.
Wow. So,
So,
then,
yeah,
what did you feel when you were besides obviously your personal connection to this scene? Which thank you so much for sharing. That's really lovely that you shared that. Not that it was a lovely, you know what I mean? Like just so sweet and open of you. What did you think, having lived through something similar? What did you think when you were watching them?
So I think that Amanda might be. I mean, I don't know if we're dealing with the same things. Like, obviously, there was some depression going on. But it just like everyone's reasonings for having kids and not having kids are obviously different. She has hers. She didn't feel like she could take care of something else. Like, that's what she's going through right now. There's a little bit in a weird way of what I felt too. Like, I don't think I can do that. Like, and I think I'll, I just, it just, like I said, like, and like, not, it was at a restaurant. It was literally it's like this, it was the same, just roles reversed. Like her being like, oh, so da-da-da, like literally asking me about kids with no inclination or any hint of like, oh no, that's not happening anymore.
That is so wild.
And like Kyle said, he's like, I mean, I knew it was a wait, but I didn't know it was a never. Like I didn't
and
know.
that you've been thinking about this for a
And that
year.
you've been
That's what
thinking
I
it,
was
yeah.
just like.
That was
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
Yeah.
Every single thing she said, I feel like
it was
the even the wording was so close, so much, almost verbatim of just like.
So then what were you
When
feeling
she-
when you were watching that scene? Because you obviously had this experience with Mike.
I feel like there is a good possibility that Amanda is just going through something right now because I just don't. But I don't know because Amanda is so closed off, like she's not. Like, I don't think people look at her as if she's so closed off. They just think like, oh, she doesn't say much, or she doesn't always like, she's not always like really involved in like the deeper conversations or whatever. She's with Kyle. So it's like they've got their own thing. You're not hearing about makeups and breakups like with Craig and Paige or Sierra's things because they're just sort of like, oh, that's a done deal. Nobody really like worries to like dig into really what they're going through like relationship wise. So I don't know, but I do feel like she could just be. She wanted kids this whole time. And then I think now she's come to a point where like possibly that she just hit a point where she's like, no, I'm actually okay without kids. And like, God, what would I even do with one right now? Because like, that's such a natural way to like, you go long enough and then you just start realizing like, my migraines had me laid out. Like I can't do anything. What would I do if I had a kid? So maybe she, with like just some of the like emotional and mental things that she's gone through, like maybe she knows that that like a migraine hits her and she's out for the count. And like, I don't know if I'm going to get control of that. Well, I went to a million years of acupuncture and like was able to get over that. I'm not saying that that's the answer for her. I'm not trying to say like I know anything about what the answer is for her, but like maybe she does get a manage on that for a number of years that makes her feel comfortable to go, no, like that's not a thing anymore that isn't handleable. Or maybe Loverboy takes off in the Spritz Wars and they get money.
Boy's doing better than we thought, just from how he was talking about it at the end of this episode.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we raised their Q3 earnings by gazillion dollars.
You're welcome.
I know, but clearly these same ones you've seen.
Yeah,
these aren't the good ones.
Them.
Yeah, like no one's
Don't
rushing
buy
over.
these.
I would drink it. I just didn't want to drink our props.
Oh,
yeah, we need
no,
more
you don't wanna
props,
drink
Kyle.
those.
Okay,
Those are just the worst ones out of all the ones that we had. But she may not get over this. There are so many people out there that are not having kids that are just like, you get over a certain hump and then you start to really appreciate like, wow, I do have all this free time and I am able to just think thoughts and do whatever, spend my day doing whatever I possibly want to indulge in, good, bad, or not, you know, like, I think it's a slippery slope waiting to have kids until you're like, it's good because you'll have more money and more wisdom and all the things. But by the time you do start to get into your 40s, you realize like, oh, this is pretty good. Like this is pretty legit, not spending all of your money on yourself and spending all of your time doing whatever you and your partner want to do, or just you want to do. Who cares? Like, so I don't know what is going to happen with that. But like, I don't often believe that like these conversations are ever like the first time you've ever heard this or whatever, but like
I do think that was the first time he ever heard that.
Did look like what? Like
even the way she said it wouldn't be the end of the world. Like she was hesitant. She was like, "Oh, am I going to drop this bomb right now?" Like that was the difference between me and Amanda. Amanda took a half a second to be like, "Is this the moment?" And I was like, "Nah, not happening." Like so. That seemed pretty real to me.
Yeah.
I also wonder,
speaking from experience,
you know how your life will be in one place, right?
Yeah.
And then a year later, 2 years later, it is like you'll look at one of your friends saying, "This time last year, I was married, living in Colorado with chickens, my parents down the street, whatever, all the details." And you're like, and now I'm single. I don't even have a cat. I live in an apartment in Santa Monica. Like, did anyone have that on their bingo card? Because I sure shit didn't. And I feel like Amanda's having a little bit of that because when we meet Amanda, all she's ever wanted is to get married, have a kid, and live in New Jersey and drink Coors Lights in the backyard, which invite me. And now it's like she went off birth control and they weren't getting pregnant. And there might be, they haven't followed that story that much, but I know like all the girls did fertility ish. Like I think they were like, you mailed them in. So it's not the same as going into a doctor. But I think she had like a little, not something wrong, but just like there was a challenge there. I don't know if it was an offshoot of being on birth control for so long.
I forgot about that.
Yes. And now Kyle is having some weird stuff. Like, and we don't know what it is, but the test came back inconclusive, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not green lights, all rights.
Yeah.
Have sex and you're going to have a kid. And then she also was in a really dark place last summer. She finally got like her mental health in a good spot. The medications that she's taking, she said she feels really happy and balanced and all this stuff. And she just started a business that she's wanted to start for a really long time. So now we're looking at someone who's in a relationship that seems pretty good. Their relationship seems in a healthy place. They are kind of having fertility stuff. She started a business, but she's feeling mentally better than she's ever felt.
Yeah.
That's way different than a young chick who is struggling with their mental health, desperate to get married. Not desperate, but like really wants to get married and just bang out some kids.
Yeah.
Those are almost like two different people.
I know.
Right? They're worlds apart. And so I think she also is sitting here thinking to herself, I just started this business. I live with a founder of a company. I know how much
Yeah.
time and energy it takes. And let me tell you something, as a founder of a company, it is like, I get it. It's not actually like having a child. I could leave my business at home. I don't need a babysitter for my business.
But you do if an order comes, you're the only one to do it.
Correct.
So
like it is a lot. You birthing a company and doing all that stuff. That's why they say like, this is my baby. And so I think she just is starting to realize like, wait, where would a child fit in
Yeah.
to all of this? And also I feel better than I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And we're in such a good place. I don't know if I want to, what's that saying? Like upset the apple cart or something.
Yeah.
I think all like how Mike said, like he will just sit outside and just mull things
Yeah.
over and over again. I think she's been doing that with this. And because she's just seemingly in such a different place, it's a
Yeah.
different answer.
Yeah. For me, I was never rushing. Really, he always wanted to have kids physically. I've never, not
You've
for
always
one
said.
minute, I've never wanted to physically give birth. I've always wanted to adopt since I was a child. Since I was 6 years old, I've been talking about when I get my baby. So like I was almost like pushing it off, trying to get him to just get in line with adoption. And so that's why like I wasn't ever pressing for anything sooner, because it was just like, oh, he'll get there. Like he's not going to not want kids. So if I just like don't ever get pregnant, but then like, and then go, oh, the time to adopt, like it will be sort of out of both of our hands by that time and whatever. It feels like Amanda wanted to have kids the whole time, and like Kyle didn't really like want to, like, or he wasn't in a rush.
I feel like he felt he wasn't ready because Loverboy was just in
Yeah.
such like a full throttle.
That's what I
needing
mean. When I
him.
say didn't want to, I just meant like that time that she wanted to, he didn't want to, like just didn't want to do it right then and there. And I do like, there is a shot that like she got over it, you know, and like is now like she might, if like she might have like her company could be super successful or whatever, whatever she's set out to accomplish right now. Cause I feel like she's kind of been like in the backseat to whatever Kyle, it's pretty much been Kyle's business. I know that it's their company, but like, I feel like Amanda's just doing whatever Kyle like needs her to do or whatever.
And
like,
what's in her wheelhouse, right? Like
exactly,
with graphic
what's in her
design and being
wheelhouse.
like the
Yeah.
creative director or whatever,
Yeah.
Loverboy.
So like, I'm wondering if she just like really wants to like do this thing on her own. And then like, I don't think that she's like waiting on Kyle's every like if he's in a good mood or bad mood. She just sort of seems like it's whatever to her. Like she's just,
Well, because she's
found her own
stabilized.
way. Yeah. And so, so she could just want to enjoy this for a bit and then she might get bored. I find a lot of people that I notice that have kids, I swear to God, they just got bored one day. They got bored at work. It wasn't fulfilling them. They didn't really want to do this job anymore. But I just have kids. I don't have to go back right now. Like, I think that like weird thing, and I'm not even hating. Like,
No.
thank God women come to it whenever they do. Like, no one's having kids. So like when anyone gets pregnant, I'm like, your country thanks you. You know, it really seems that way these days.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She could get over this, or she could not.
No, I agree with you. I think that she's in not to say, because I think it's so patronizing when someone's like, you'll grow out of it. You're just in a phase. And
yeah.
it's like, I do think though that like she's gone through so much and such a big transformation of self
Yeah.
and growing up so much and doing that publicly that I do wonder, you know, in a few years, because she's still so young. So like, you know, in 3-4 years, hopefully her swimsuit line is thriving
Yeah.
and all the big busted breasted gals of the world, because I
Yeah.
think that's what she started it for, like specifically. So like it's obviously not catering towards me, but like they're buying all of her suits, having a great time in them. And now
Yeah.
she's just, like you said, okay, I have the space for this now.
Yeah. I think maybe she just would like to try out this new life that she's
Yeah.
taken 7-8 years to build for
build,
herself, and
for
would
sure.
just like to take it on a test ride before she gets a car seat for it.
Yeah.
It could be really truly be as simple as that. So I hope it is only because I just want her to be fulfilled. I want
Same.
And when Kyle said the thing about like this whole thing was supposed to be about getting something that I never had, or like getting something that like made things better than they were before. Like I can't remember what his wording was. I'm probably really dumbing it down, but like I understand like Kyle would be a great dad.
No, he totally would be.
And I don't think Kyle's good at anything. So I think he would be a good dad. And I think Schwartz would be a great dad too.
Oh, it was so cute.
Maybe Schwartz and Kyle could just adopt together.
So cute. I love
2 men and a baby.
Yeah, that would be so amazing.
Would it be Schwartz Cook or Cook Schwartz? Schwartz Cook, because Cook Schwartz sounds like you're going to eat.
Yeah.
Tom.
Let's eat grandma.
Should we do comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's eat grandma.
Tanya Bluebell. You know this one, right? It's so good. I had a dream last night.
This is so good.
It's the best. I had a dream last night that I was one of the cast members on Summer House. Lexi was bullying me and having a secret thing with Kyle. The entire time she was trying to remove me from the share house. Kyle and Lexi were picking on me during the entire dream. My way of fighting back was to expose their affair. It was a bizarre dream since I can't imagine Lexi doing either of those things. It proves that this show is my favorite at the moment and it's entering my dreams. I wish it was more pleasant experience, but I'll take it. LOL. I felt like I was being ganged up on by girls during middle school. Not the best feeling. LOL. I didn't say but I was like, I feel like everyone who's ever had a dream about Summer House, it's that. All of us just getting bullied by these little
and I'm just
and we
so
can't
glad that she
escape.
remembered it all.
Yeah.
So good.
Those details. And then went straight to her laptop. Beep, boop, bop.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Your girl Pat Clark agreed with you, Mark, when she says removing his glasses was genius. That move immediately put him in his place. I loved that moment.
Dude, it was so
it was so
baller.
good.
It was so baller.
Blue Textbook says Wes looks like a toenail. He's
Dude, that
sort
thing
of
made me
funny,
laugh.
not attractive.
That made me laugh for 10 minutes.
I think you could keep your comments also just as simple as this and nail it and be king of the comments.
Yeah.
I really was hoping that you were going to do a side-by-side of West and the kid from Up.
Oh.
They look, remember from Joe Schmo, you're going to love this one. My Cousin Vinny. Identical. Anyway, Jenna's Journey. I love you guys! Exclamation point. Oh, sorry. This is
Sorry. I hate you guys.
My bad.
sorry. That was the wrong show. Ms. Taylor said, Lexi, this one made me LOL. Lexi, run. Sierra, run. Your husband is not in this house.
100. Go, girls.
So true.
Get out. Nettie with some gold.
Always.
I don't like Jesse. I think we're all there. His moves with Lexi came across to me as manipulative and gaslighting. He is an insecure love bomber. He underestimated her as a dummy. Mm-hmm. And that girl is far from a dummy. Mm-hmm. And she deserves better. And he low key knows it. I think he high key knows it now.
I think all the keys knows it.
Yeah, but he can't help himself. He will F it up. What may be the best thing that happened to him is that he is f***ing it up. I like when she took off his sunglasses because she wants to see his eyes and make sure he's paying attention because she's about to check him and set him straight. We thought that was going to happen, but Jesse is unset straightable. She's starting to realize he's not the person she thought he was. So true. And good for her for that. Also, Johnny, we need to hire Johnny as a, I don't know if it's gonna be a TV show or a program, because the more we talked about it, the more I think this could be a world-saving program. Is Lexi's boot camp, and Johnny had a good addition, which is adding Sierra as the intermediary who lures the guys into the program.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so good.
And then I also think we have to take my idea from tonight of, like the council of ladies in the Lioness's
Den.
Yeah.
No, that was a good one too. I think we keep building on this. Yeah,
we're gonna have a Bible by
it's going to be amazing. The world has never seen anything like this.
DJ Baby Guadini. Lexi, quite the mature woman here. In terms of being in a relationship, she is smarter than I thought. She isn't ditzy at all. The airhead is here, Jesse. And I was like, that is so true. The irony of that. In the beginning of the season, Jesse looks at her and he's like, oh, are you a bit ditzy? And it's like, oh, and she was so right on. She goes, no, people think that about me, but I'm not. And she has taken you to school. She took you to church. She took you to the principal's office. Like,
And you didn't pay attention to any of it.
Yeah.
well, we'll see if he learns anything.
He
But
hasn't
man,
yet.
oh man, you're the ditzy dummy one.
God,
Not this member of Mensa over here, this honey and a half shirt.
Dark Hours, they asked how old our cats are and are they related. So I was like, I want to do a little backstory, origin story on all of our cats. They're not related. Foof is probably 8 or 9. I think we got him in like 2017-ish. And Foof was found by a friend of ours in Palm Springs. They went, him and his buddies went and rented a house, and they had a little dog. And in the backyard, the dog was going crazy around this little barbecue. And so finally they were like, what the hell's going on? Is a hot dog in there or something? And
they
so
thought it was a snake.
oh, right. Well, whatever. And then so they opened the thing, and little tiny Foof was in there, just a little handful of a fluff ball. Honestly, 3 weeks old, maybe 4 weeks old.
He was so cute.
Dude, so cute. He brought him home. A week later, he was like, oh, man, I don't think I can have this cat. He told a friend of ours, Anthea, who I spoke about in another episode, who's the kind of friend that if you mention something one time, be careful because you're going to get it. Sure enough, Anthea calls Natalie and was like, you know, that cat you wanted to get for Mike? I got him. Here's the address. Go check him out. We went and looked at Foof. He was a little fluff ball. We thought it was a girl. And then found out it wasn't. And then he wasn't super nice. But he'll grow on you. It takes a couple of years, but he'll get there. And then we got
Matt's
Minnie.
still waiting.
Yeah. We got Minnie, I think 9 months later, at a shelter. We had to adopt
9
her.
months later with the baby.
Yeah. Oof. And Minnie's just straight up street cat from the South Side. And she had a tough life coming up, and she's good now. She's a little princess. And those are our fur babies. And Courtney's had like 5,000 cats.
Yeah, because I used to be, fun fact, I used to be a cat hater. And then I met one great cat, and I was like, whoa, I am wrong. I also was deathly allergic to cats, and I outgrew the allergy,
Yeah,
thank
me
God.
too.
But I currently have 4 cats. I always have 4 cats, really. And I joke that like I'm the Statue of Liberty for cats. Give me your asthmatic, your senior, you're missing a body part, and I will yearning to breathe free, and I will give you a good life. But it's too many to go through. But I remember when you had called me and you said, "Is it too much to get 2 cats?" And I was like, "No, here's cat math. 2 cats is the same as having 1 cat.
Yeah.
3 cats is the same as having 2 cats. 4 cats is the same as having 3 cats, and 2 cats equal 1 dog. So I have 2 dogs."
That seems perfect math. Equates perfectly. We need 2 more cats.
That's exactly right.
And a
Because
dog.
cats are like, once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah, no.
Like I got one cat who literally was rescued on the day he was going to be euthanized. That's Lefty, because he just has 1 ear, his left ear. He is my homeboy. I could call his name from your house and he would find a way from Laurel Canyon to traverse all of the city and make it here. Like, what do you need, Mom? When I first got him, I had really bad food poisoning, and I woke up in the middle of the night and started just beefing and honking everywhere. And like Lassie, this cat came to my side, woke up Shane, and was like, "Mom's sick, help her." He didn't help me. I mean, he did, but like, what can you do with someone who has food poisoning? And then after that, we got Lucy, who is just neurotic as can be. She was abused as a little kitten, so I think that's why she's so neurotic. And then we got Toonie. Her name was Uno, because she just had 1 eye, and this cat was just the best of the best. I mean, they're all the best. She was just so sweet, and she unfortunately got cancer really, really young. And so then I got Ted, who's a girl. And then I got Lunky, who was the best, but Lunky died. And then I got Brutus, who was a senior cat, and then Brutus died.
She gets them on their last legs.
Yeah,
And
no,
I do mean last legs. Some of them have
just a few legs.
just a few legs.
Not all 4. And
But
no,
that being
Brutus,
said, does totally take care of them and give them the most amazing last
Outro.
Yeah.
leg of their life.
yes,
that
I'm
they
not
could
doing anything
possibly
to kill
do.
them, just in case anyone like Child
Well, there
Protective
was that
Services or
one.
no, God forbid. And so Lunky, Brutus, even though we got him at like 10, he lived a good like 5 more years. And then when he passed away, that's when beautiful B got brought into our lives, who I'm going to bring back. B's our 27-pound turkey.
You guys have met B.
I gotta send you the next episode where I bring B. I'm gonna send you one of the videos where she's bringing me my slipper, so you could just put a quick clip in there because
you've sent me a few.
Oh yeah,
the whole world's seen that clip.
It's amazing. It's so cute. I'm at my desk and she literally brings it and just it's the drop for me when she just because she's the whole time and then she sees me and just goes. It's so cute. You're a cat person. How are you not?
I know, but I swear, she go, is this the same video?
Yeah, it looks
wait,
the same, but it's
and I'm like,
different.
I think she sends the same video every day.
No. They're different videos.
Well, because your reactions are all the
Times a
same.
day.
Because it's amazing every time.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been here a million.
Your cats are sweet. Our cats are dicks.
I can't believe you went on about Foof, this asshole, for however long. And
Minnie's
Minnie got like 4 seconds. She was in the gnarliest rain LA had ever had. They found her in the streets of Compton with her half of her eye hanging out.
Okay.
I have the
wasn't
photos.
hanging out. It was just
it
a little
was
gooey.
bulged out. Like she almost lost an eye.
Yeah, but
would've
she
been like,
didn't because she's tough.
I know that. So give her flowers.
I did. I said she's
You just give his fat ass whatever he wants.
Because he has abandonment issues. She's tough.
Abandonment
Minnie's
issues?
like
What do you think?
Lexi.
He was rescued.
He's like
He was found at a party house, Airbnb in Palm
his family
Springs.
left
By
him in a
some nurturing
barbecue.
gay men.
Yes.
His family left him in a barbecue.
Maybe he ran away.
Yeah, I think he ran away.
I don't think so.
Wait, can I read one more comment that I wanted to touch on?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Oh wait, are we done with cats or no? Because I could talk about cats all the goddamn day.
I think we should be done with cats.
Okay, don't threaten me with a good time. Ellis Elizabeth said, I love you guys and I enjoy watching you. I have an issue with the conversation from 138 to 140, though I specifically referenced the combo about Paige her parents paying her rent, quote, who didn't, because I think Nat had said like, in a jocular manner, who
Is
didn't.
my apologies a tour continuing?
No, I'm apologizing for myself. In the comment, in
to
college,
do it
we all
anymore.
got paid for.
You're on a podcast.
Cut off, but implied college was taken care of. Those comments irked me by either saying or accepting them as true. It seems like y'all grew up with loving, supportive parents with the resources to financially aid you. Some parents kick their kids out at 18 because they've done their job, or kids get kicked out at younger ages for any number of reasons. Money, they're too much trouble, they're gay, the list goes on. And some parents just can't afford tuition and kids have to figure out paying for college, high student debt, or a career path without college on their own. Absolutely no hate towards any of y'all. Just a comment to say the status quo life is a little different from some offhand comments. And I just want to say, I fully get that 1000%. There was not one day growing up where my dad wasn't like, listen, your candy ass has it better than 99% of the free world. Be grateful. Do what I tell you. Like, I was always told how fortunate I was that, I turned 17 and my parents got me a car, which is insane. I went to college and my parents paid for it. With all of that being said, they made sure I had a job from before it was even legal for me to have a job because they own their own business. So they would just put me to work so that I knew the value of $1. And also going to school at a super pricey university. All of my friends were, bartending at night. They had student loans and all of that. So I was very aware that just shut up and be grateful. And I swear we really only meant that from a joking sense of yeah, who's not being paid for or whatever. Because trust me, when I was done with college, my parents were like, don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you, which I know is way longer than most people get. But I just wanted to say we were truly just kidding. And I would never want someone to think that I expect someone to, just pave the way and always pay for me. But if someone wants to do that, I'm very happy to accept donations.
Yeah, I expect that. Natalie, come on.
My parents thought I was going to join the military if they didn't pay for my college. So, hot tip.
Well, I will say my parents, because I was professionally modeling and my agency was like, we're going to send you to Tokyo. I was like, arigato. I don't even know if that's thank you in Japanese, but isn't it? Arigato? Anyway, I was like, thank you. I want to go. And my parents were like, you're an idiot. You're not going to Japan by yourself. And I was like, no, I definitely am. And they said, okay, well, you have two options. We will cut you off from everything you've ever known right now, and you can go live out your dream, or we will pay for you to go to college.
Yeah.
Pick your poison. And I was too chicken shit. And in hindsight, I wish, listen, I loved my college experience and it was such a gift. And I met my best friend and I love like everything about the experience. But I do wonder what would have happened if I was like, let's move into a model's apartment in Tokyo. And because I never had to do any of that because I lived right outside of New York and I just drove in for everything. But I felt like it stunted.
You could have been Lexi.
Could have been a lip line.
Living with your mom
queen.
and sister.
Oh, Kathy Mallory. I think we sort of got what we were asking for. She says Sierra needs to tell Jesse off. And I was like, yes, totally agree. Get on with it already. Nah, they listened to you.
Oh my God. Wait, did you read the comment about Pat Clark's son's wedding?
Dude, Pat
I
Clark's
was
son's
like,
wedding.
is
That,
your
like,
dream.
Yeah, that's my wedding, basically. I needed them to send us the itinerary so we can
I
get this
needed
thing on the
them
road.
to send you an invitation.
Yeah, that too. That sounded amazing. And thank you, Pat, for calming my anxiety about this one, not playing golf. Pat says she didn't start golf until she was 60. So you got plenty
That's
of time.
like 40 years away.
Yeah.
I thought, wait, 29. That's 31
She's
years
young.
away.
She can't do math.
Yeah, totally.
She barely out of high
Sarah,
school.
Sarah McBride, Lexi's boot camp gone Tool Academy. Remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
From back in the day? And she can get them tools straight. Super funny. But yeah, Tool Academy. I just thought that was a nice like reference.
Yeah,
Flashback.
wasn't it on like VH1 or something?
Something
Yeah,
stupid.
MTV
It
or
was the
VH1.
dumbest show in the world, but it was so funny.
But you got Natty Boo Pie.
Well, Kathy Mallory, Lori Mazinski, Sarah McBride, Max Mindel, Good Citizen, Jane Wood, Branham are not fans of Tom Schwartz.
Yeah.
You know who is? Me and Zoe.
And me.
And you.
And
Yeah.
me.
And you. Sorry, we love who we love. Hashtag love is love.
Love is love.
Yeah.
This one is a good one, which I didn't notice, and I don't know if any of us did, but this person whose handle is, you know how long I spent? This is like a license plate, like a vanity plate. That
Oh
you
my
can't
God.
figure, you know which one I'm talking about?
Every time.
And I'm like, I tried for so long, and now I'm like, I don't think it's a thing. Give up, Mike. I don't want to, though. It's SSH888SSHH. Sheesh? I don't know. Again, I tried so many things, I'm embarrassed to tell you what they were. Great comment, though. I noticed that Sierra is actively avoiding scenes and conversations with Lexi. When all the girls are around Lexi, Sierra is somewhere else if she can help it. Oops. Her energy towards Lexi has been off-putting. It seems like she was jealous another model joined the house and is taking flirty attention away from her. Sierra thrives when she's the center of some F-boy's attention and is bored when she isn't. Shout out to Lexi, a fellow Canadian. I don't know, I can shout out to Canadians. Never mistake our kindness for weakness. I thought it was ironic when Jesse asked if she was ditzy. He asked her, a Canadian, if she took a U.S. standardized test in high school. No, my guy, we're at different countries and we have different education systems. Also, this is the lady that said I sound like, I don't know if it's a lady person, that said that I sound like Cartman. If you play it, she listens to our show at double speed, and she's like, Mike sounds like Cartman when you do that.
That's amazing.
It's kind of true. Also, 2x speed Cartman has the best takes. I always agree with him and love that he gave Lexi her flowers for how she confronted Jesse so gracefully and powerfully. Listen, she deserved them. Everyone should have given them to her.
Yeah.
Not just me with the best takes, but I appreciate you.
We all
I
gave
just
Lexi
thought
her flowers.
the model house, like those chicks are competitive in the model. Like, so it was a take that I hadn't really thought of, that like, that's PTSD, model house, model New York, like flashbacks of like
Modeling's a tough job.
yeah.
Like you can't be thin-skinned. You know,
You
when
just
they're like,
gotta
oh,
be
don't.
thin.
Well, no, now you can be everything. But also it's just like you are literally walking into a room and people will, or I don't know if this still happens, they will dissect how you look in front of you. Like
Oh, yeah.
you are so thin and they'll be like, the thighs are too big. You're like, I can hear you, sir. I'm in front of you. I have youth on my side. I can hear a pin drop right across the room. And so you just, have to, like, that's why Jesse is mincemeat currently,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you think your toothy grin and 6'5" stature is going to intimidate me? No.
Sherry Slocum. Lexi should have made some good friends with the other girls and stayed away from Jesse. Maybe after getting close with the other girls, then she could have explored her options with Jesse. I'm glad she found out about Jesse and the toe sucking. Like I said, I think we've talked about that and somebody may have commented before, but like how interesting it would have been had like Sierra and Paige been the first ones in the house or the second ones in, that Jesse and West weren't the first dum-dums that she had to encounter.
Or if she just didn't have a crush on anyone in the house.
Yeah.
That would have changed stuff too.
Yeah. They like accosted her. They're like waiting for her to pounce.
Listen, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that was planned. Let's send the 2 F boys into the house first for the 2 new girls to come 100%. Be like, hey.
Meteor Wine says Jesse epitomizes the adage that men have 2 heads, a big one, a little one, and they only have enough blood to operate one at a time. Nailed that.
This is from Harris B. What?
She was going to read that one.
Okay, do it.
Oh, yeah, you do it now.
I mean, I have a bunch more. So
no, it actually would be funny to hear you read it, though. Do it.
All right. You guys didn't bring up the question that Paige was asked on Watch What Happens Live. I needed a Hannah and Amanda squashing of the beef like last season. Do we think they'll ever get it? Do we think we'll ever get it? Any predictions from the reunion? Which I think we're all on the same page for. And then I didn't want to get too into, but you have a conspiracy theory off some Instagrams in the same outfit that everybody has already been at the same location once. So there might have already been a squash. Any predictions for the reunion? I think Jesse will get ripped a new loose farting butthole. Probably true. And I would do that fart noise, but she hates it when I do that one.
And she hates it too.
Okay, then I definitely won't do it. And I'm sorry, but West is looking good these days. Don't hate me. I told you. That's 3 of us now, except the toenail person that thought West was looking cute.
Well, the toenail person negates one of you, so now you're back to 2.
I don't think so. Because me and Harris are worth 2 each. So that's 4 plus the 5. We're up a lot. Love you guys. You make me literally LOL. Thank you. You make us literally LOL. But that was funny. Jesse's for sure getting ripped a loose farting butthole.
Gross.
Dude, everyone was so agreed with me on how shitty the party was, and now they're gonna be like, "F this dude, I can't trust him at all." Sorry,
the party's it was an amazing party,
it was a banger. But all right, what do you got?
Maya Mountain says, well, what Lexi left out was that the only 2 people that went to Lexi's party were Gabby and Emerald. Also, what is this about Sarah liking Jesse? Sarah is not pursuing or even into Jesse like that. And she said that multiple times. Sarah just matched Jesse's energy with the not touching. I don't think it has anything with her. I don't think it has anything probably meant to do with her being jealous. Jesse was being weird and trying to switch it around on Sarah, and she wasn't having it. With all due respect, I think Sarah could have done more. And not because she's responsible for Jesse, but because Jesse shouldn't even be anywhere near her. It is not about Lexi. It's about Sarah wasting her time with people that have nothing to offer. I don't care even if it's just a friend. I think he causes her way more trouble than he gives her quality in her life. And I've had it up to here with Sarah just letting idiots hang about. And
no shirt, no shoes, no service. She needs to be more like tight about the people she lets into her restaurant.
Yeah.
I think 2 things about that comment. One, well, I loved it. But one, I agree with that person that she was so clear that she was not interested in Jesse. I stand by that. Also, Sierra was on Watch What Happens Live last night. I think you watched it. And apropos of nothing, she goes, oh, wait, I want to talk about the whole not going to certain people's birthday parties. That's not what happened. She didn't get into the details of it because I don't know if she didn't want to, didn't have time, whatever. But something shady is going on there. So I wonder if they will talk about that at the reunion, even though it's not anything that happened on the show.
I would love to hear from anyone who watched Watch What Happens Live with Sarah on it and give me even just one line of like what your vibe was from that entire thing. Cause that was the weirdest half hour that I have watched in a while. She had an odd person that she was with. It was a girl from Handmaid's Tale, who I really like, but just isn't someone like if you're Sierra and like you don't have like an Amanda or Paige isn't with you as your buddy on it, you need like a Casey Wilson pumping you up there. Like this other girl was just very like answering questions like yes, like a lot of awkward silences, just a lot.
She just seemed like a bit more conservative and like reserved.
Yeah, she's not a Watch What Happens liver. I feel like she's there promoting because they're about to air the finale of Handmaids, and so I get that. I really like her.
Yeah,
I love her on. She's one of my favorite characters on the show. It just like I thought that Sierra was in a functified space the whole time. She was just like she's either not taking it or taking it from some people, but not her. But I'll take it from him a little. Like it was just I was just very perturbed by that half hour.
I didn't.
You didn't feel any of that?
The only thing I thought, but then I was just kind of like, you're right. And, smoke them if you got them. When she was just like, do you think I cared about that comment? Look at me. Like, I'm going to be fine.
Which was, I thought, the most fraudulent thing that she's ever said. Because she doesn't talk like that.
She doesn't. That's why my meter went up then.
She doesn't walk that. Like, I want her. If I would kill to have her mean that comment. Because that's all I've been saying about her all this time.
Yeah.
When she said it, it was almost like she had read it so often and just decided to give it a shot, and it like didn't fit, and it just
maybe she's trying it on to make it fit.
I would love. I mean, you know what? If that's the case, then keep practicing because I'm here for her to own that energy. But yeah, I thought I thought she's lost. I think she's lost, wandering, trying to find her spot, and I'm sorry how that comes off. I only have the best intentions for Sierra and want the best for her. And I'm tired of having these conversations about her, quite frankly. Like I'm ready to move on to her doing something cooler.
In her best era.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's time for a camper van conversion, van life with Carl.
Okay, so that leads me to this
Two separate
one,
vans.
though.
Oh my God, we got a Valley seating chart already?
We're getting a reunion?
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
So that comment led me to Queen Rebecca. This line struck me, quote, "You're fulfilled and happy when you find your person. My husband and I found each other in college and I was 20. 16 years later, we have 2 wonderful children, amazing life, and just returned from our pre-anniversary vacation where he planned in February. Then a week after we returned from vacation, he passed in front of us at home on March 1st. That line struck me because it explains why I now feel so foreign to this world without him. He was 43, healthy, an athlete, and the best human that we know. I found your page during the early days of my grief, and it has helped me get my mind away from the constant rumination of that day. Thank you to you 3. And I think this is a comment that I just said about Sierra being like, I think Sierra's so ready to find her person, and I don't buy into the bullshit that like you have to be like your best self and ready to live independently forever before you should be looking for someone else. Like I truly think that like your person is what can, I'm not talking about a real shit show mess, but your person can fill in all those stupid blanks that you have and vice versa. And God, Queen Rebecca, I am so fucking sorry that happened to you. That is my nightmare. That is my absolute nightmare. Even when we were walking at the Grove the other day, it was a weird day. It was gloomy. And I was just seeing people. I just hadn't been there in a long time. And I just remember having this feeling like, what a weird world this is. Granted, the Grove is like Disneyland.
Pretty weird.
This is pretty weird already. But I was just thinking, I was like holding on to your arm. And I was like, what if I was just walking in this weird, gloomy, weird freak show Disneyland like place by myself right now? I would sooner die. And I hate that she's going through that and feeling that, and that is horrible.
Yeah, super horrible. That was and the kids, 2 kids.
Yeah.
Awful.
I love though. I mean, I'm with you guys. I'm so sorry that you and your family are going through that. That is, we need a bigger word than heartbreaking. But I loved your candor in saying, Because I think sometimes people are like, no, it's not you complete me. And no, if you are a mess of a human being, that the greatest person could come along and it's not their job to complete you or any of that. I'm not saying that. I love though that she said, everything, what I felt from what she said is like, I was great and happy.
Yeah.
And then like I met this amazing person and everything just elevated. And it's like everything in my life just clicked into place in this different way. And I really feel like when the right two people meet at the right time, you do complete me. Like you do feel this sense of belonging and this sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this in any corny way, but like there's so many people that walk this earth that never have, 5 minutes of that, let alone however many years. And it's never a constellation to take away from the pain, but it's beautiful to know that you experienced it and that it's real.
And this is going to sound very weird because I am not comparing the two. I only bring it up to say that I got married really, really young. And when we divorced, he was just gone one day. It was as if he died. He was just gone one day, took off. Again, this is not in comparison to experiencing a death. It's the father of your children. This is like night and day. I was like 27 when this happened to me. I mean, wait, what? That doesn't add up.
Yeah, hold on.
17,
Ish.
14. I was a
Child
child bride. But I know that there is like that everyone has a person, but I also think that there are other persons that are your person. I totally believe if anything were happening to you, that would be it for me. But I'm just here to tell you that you will probably, when you least expect it, you will meet someone else who is not going to ever replace this person, but you will have a whole new life. It's crazy how that happens. There's someone out there who has lost someone who was looking for you. And that's all cheesy. And I don't even mean to
I
even
believe
get
that
into
too.
all of that. But yeah, it won't be the same. It won't be the same. It won't be better. It will be different and amazing in a way that you never thought of.
Like now you have an angel you know by name, and then that angel will help send that person to you and
totally
put you in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah.
And yeah. So anyway,
Oh God,
look at those murder mitts. You could really draw some blood with those.
Christy, I agree with Mike. The whole bed theme party was lame.
You're gonna have to break it to Christy.
I apologized to her when I said it.
You did.
I just also wanted you to know that she commented.
Also, I just want everyone to know that says, I agree with Mike. I agree with Mike. Mike, Matt, Mark, whatever your name is. I agree with him. The guy that sounds like Cartman, best takes. You're creating a monster, an El Primo Monstoro. So just compliment at your own risks.
Yeah, come on, bring it.
Nat's going to have to get some Crisco to butter his head to get it through the door.
Whatever.
Listen, we get it. Bravo audience loves men.
Loves the dudes.
Hates
The dudes with the
all
best
women.
Whatever. Like and subscribe.
Like
I
and
love all
subscribe.
women.
Cubby says, Everett, bless your heart and soul. I pray for your family and friends who mourn for you. I have a daughter in heaven and a son on earth. Family is everything. Thank you, 3, for this online family, sending positive thoughts to all who suffered a loss. Be kind and hopefully it will circle back to you. I love you, Cubby. Cubby's is the
Me
greatest
too.
thing.
Cubby's the great. They're all the greatest.
Yeah.
Oh, can I just say something really? It might sound so silly and you might cut it, but it's about this. I was listening to a podcast the other day. It's Oprah's new podcast, and it was about near-death experiences. And there were people on there that had a near-death experience and had also lost a child. And they talk about all of that, and it just brought them so much comfort, and it was a life-changing thing for them. And I don't want to get into it because I don't want to give it away. I want you to be able to listen to it and have your own experience with it. But clearly, a lot of people that are part of our Showmance family have experienced a loss of a spouse, a loss of a child, etc. And I just wanted to throw that out there since you brought it up. It's a great listen. I have a few friends that have lost children, and I sent it to them, and they've all responded saying like, this meant more to me than you know. I absolutely loved hearing this. So it's the last episode on near-death experiences.
Well, great.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Only 3 hours and 13 minutes today.
Yeah, we're really phoning it in.
Half day. But listen, thank y'all. We love all of you.
So much.
And we'll see you next week when Jessie apologizes again. Ciao for
Nat's gonna
now.
strain an eyeball with her eye rolls.
Toodles.
Toodaloo. It's so cutie.
Our guest next week will be Arthur.
Not
the
to be
cat.
confused. Yeah.
Yeah, the cat, not the person.